everyone. Welcome to another edition of Wiley vs. Mitch. We are sitting in the right.
Yes, we've actually done it well. So I'm
I'm Wiley. This channel is the Wileyverse. We run role-playing games on here, generally Dungeons and Dragons on Wednesday nights and now Sunday nights. But we had a little stint of this program called Wiley vs. Mitch, where we introduce a new role-playing game, go through character creation, do some encounters, and kind of explore the system and talk about it. And this came about because I've been gaming for a very, very long time. You probably see all the games I have back here.
It goes over there, too.
And Mitch has not been gaming for a very long time.
So it's only been about 2 years, and most of it's been here. Pretty much all of it's been here. And we kind of came up with this idea because I was curious about some games, but we don't always have the time to get into them. So one of the most fun things I think about a role-playing game, besides learning the lore and such, is to also build a character. So what we'll do is we'll go over character creation live. He'll put me through a normal encounter, and then we'll buff me up a little bit, and then he'll bring out a big bad guy, and we'll see what it looks like after several campaigns down the road.
And in this installment, if you've been watching the channel recently, you've seen that we've been running or playing Talisman, the Magical Quest game. It's a board game. It's been around since the 80s. It's in its fourth or fifth edition. We play the fourth edition, and I have all the expansions. It's basically D&D light. You have a character. The character has stats and special abilities. You move around this board, which has these regions. You draw cards, encounter monsters, get objects, get followers. You get stronger as you go along. And the whole quest is to get to the center of the board, past all these trials and tribulations, spaces, and get the crown of command from the wizard's tower and take over the world, basically.
Is that the point of the role-playing game as well?
No, not so much. If you are a fan of Talisman, you may also know that there's a couple board games and video game offshoots of it, like Talisman Adventures, and there's Talisman Prologue and Talisman something else online, both of which will do single-player campaigns which tell you a story in the world. So they've kind of built the world up a little bit. And they also just kind of snuck out this Talisman Adventures role-playing game. As you can see, maybe by the bottom of it,
you can, right at the very bottom.
It is a playtest guide. So this game is not out yet, but they have released a playtest guide that has the basic rules, some core races and classes, a single adventure, and just kind of like a whole questionnaire at the end to get back with the developers and tell them what you think. So it's very interesting. We're going to give it a shot because we all like the Talisman board game, and we also like role-playing, and then we can go online and tell them what for.
Check out the stream.
Hey, everybody. Talisman is pretty basic as a fantasy realm. It has everything, kind of everything goes on in it. There's fairies and demons and devils and angels. The story of it is the world was horrible and everything was against humanity until this great wizard came around and ushered them out of this wasteland and into a more prosperous region of the world that was cut off to them because of this river that was just raging and nothing could get by it. But the elves actually were living on the other side, and they had used their magic to do that, to keep all the monsters and creatures in the inner region of the world. So the wizard made a deal with the elves to let the humans through, and then they started prospering and making a nation. They made a city, they made a castle, they have a king. They started world building essentially and living with these elves and fae and all these creatures out in the outer regions, the more settled regions. But then the wizard kind of disappeared for a while. He had a box that he put who knows what in. It's pretty much like Pandora's box, all the evils of the world that he's collected and gathered and banished. He put into a single box. He gave that box to a warlock, and the only way to open it was with a talisman that he created. Then he kind of just disappeared for a while, and the wizard came back, and many generations had passed in the world of men, and the wizard had grown quite old. And he went to the king and queen and noticed that they had 7 daughters and 7 sons, and he basically said, "Hey, I've given you everything. You've prospered because of me. The only thing I have left to do is start a family. Like, that's the only thing I've never done in my life. So can I have one of your daughter's hands in marriage?" And they said, "Fuck you." So, yeah, he killed them all. He killed all but one prince and princess, wiped the rest of them out, left the king and queen alive, barren, though, so they could not have any more children, and then ran off to the tower he created back in the hellish realm, where he was never seen again. And rumors were that he just went up there and died after he kind of messed up the world. He actually even took the castle and moved it into the more treacherous region across the river, away from the city and the civilization of humans, isolating them from everyone else. And then he died, and rumors persisted that he is gone, but that he left some of his great treasures, including something called the Crown of Command, which he specifically crafted so that he would not have to worry about anything harming humanity or people ever again. It made him the most powerful entity in the realm. But now it's supposedly just sitting up there in that tower, which is the object of the board game, is to get up there and get that. The object of the adventures game is to survive and make money and make your name in this world and all that kind of stuff. General stuff. So
when you say this is D&D light, does that mean that it's light as
No.
less rule?
Talisman is D&D light.
Excuse me.
The board game is D&D light. Now, this is kind of light on rules because it's just a playtest. I mean, it's just this big. So, it doesn't have a lot of rules in here. I'm fairly impressed with the rules that it does have. I like some of them. It does something. So, in my younger years, where I just sit in school and dream about becoming a game designer, I came up with a couple systems on my own. And there was one mechanic that always interested me, and I was really obsessed with it when I was younger. And as I'm growing older, I kind of think back and go, that would be a terrible mechanic, but this game did it. So this game, I don't know. I've never really seen it played, but it's something I thought of a while ago, and other people, I'm assuming, have thought of that as well, and it's in this game, and that is, this system is completely player-centric. The GM never rolls dice. So if you are doing something, you roll the dice to see if you succeed or fail. If something is happening against you, you roll dice to see if it succeeds or fails, like your defense type of thing. In fact, monsters don't do anything unless you attack them, kind of thing. They can attack you, but it's you rolling your defense against them.
Yeah.
But the real thing about monsters and the interaction of them is when you attack them, how does that fight go? Do they hit you, or do you hit them, or is it a little bit of both? So it's kind of interesting. I'm kind of curious to see how it plays out. But I will not have any dice. I will not be rolling any dice because that is not what the GM of this game does.
Interesting.
It's a 3d6 system. It uses 2 of the same color dice and 1 die that's offset, which is called the Kismet die.
Oh, I can't even see him on the camera.
Yeah. And it is a target number threshold with a twist. So because I'm not rolling anything against you, there has to be a spectrum of success, of not just failure, success and failure. There has to be a spectrum of success to know when something doesn't go quite right, or when a monster gets to hit you, or add more mechanics into it because I'm not rolling anything.
Does it have D&D does, where it's success, failure, and then bonus and negative, critical success and critical failure, I should say?
There are superior successes and double superior successes. I think that's what they're called. Let me make sure. great. So it's great success and extraordinary success.
Gotcha.
So how this works is I give you a target number, like let's say it's 11. You roll the 3d6, you add them all together. If you get below 11, you failed. If you get above 11, you succeed. But succeed is, something doesn't. If you just succeed, then something might have gone wrong. If it was a fight, you get hit as well as hit your enemy, but not for total damage. If you fail, you get hit full damage.
Gotcha.
If you just succeed, you hit them, but they hit you for half damage. To get those greater and extraordinary successes, you need to get doubles.
Gotcha.
So if you succeeded and 2 of your dice came up with 4s, that's a greater success.
So that does kind of take from the board game then, because doubles have a lot of effects in some of the spells.
A lot of things,
like
yep.
that, yeah.
And then if you roll triples, that's an extraordinary success.
Gotcha.
So if all 3 of your dice came up the same thing. Now the Kismet die also has an effect. So there's that going on besides you just trying to figure out your success or failure. If the Kismet die rolls a 6, you get a fate point. If it rolls a 1, I get a dark fate point to be used against you.
Yeah.
Also, though, in lieu of getting a fate point, if you have any abilities or magic items that are powered by fate or the Kismet die, you could instead do that. So there'll be some things listed in here which show, I'll show this little marker, which is if you get a 6 on the Kismet die, you could trigger this ability instead of getting a fate point.
Gotcha.
So there's a kind of a cool little mechanic with that. There's only a couple places, like there's one place where they took the Kismet die and they made it part of the roll. Like the only way you can really succeed at the roll is to get a 6 on the Kismet, and I don't like that. Because the Kismet die really should be that extra above fate or special ability, and successes should be what you do for regular dice rules, but that's neither here nor there. So let's get into character creation. You want to get into it?
Yeah.
All right. So there's 2 steps, just 2 steps to character creation. First, you choose your ancestry, and this is something, a new word that's kind of coming out in role-playing games, which I really do like. They don't say pick race anymore, they say pick ancestry. And ancestry can mean a lot of different things. A lot of times it's just kind of a synonymous for race, but it gets away from a lot of that, you're an orc, so you have negative intelligence because orcs are dumb. It's starting to get more into layering on culture and upbringing and backgrounds and racial features. Yeah.
So jumping ahead a little bit, is there a ghoul playable character?
There absolutely is.
So can you have a ghoul ancestry?
Yes.
You can.
Yeah. So here are the races that you can play. You can play a human, a dwarf, an elf, a ghoul, or a sprite, or a troll. Sorry, troll as well. So human, dwarf, elf, ghoul, sprite, and troll are the different ancestries.
Do the ancestries have bonuses and negatives and stuff?
They have primarily bonuses.
Gotcha.
Yeah. To go over them, humans are like the most prolific. They're everywhere. They have the civilization. That's their kind of deal. So they're found in the wilderness as nomads. They're found in civilization in the cities and villages. So there's that kind of a spectrum of whether you're like a nomad or a wanderer or if you're a civilized human being. The dwarves primarily dwell in hills and mountains. They've been there for a long time. They're pretty much all about... some of them, a lot of them have kind of integrated with humans, so you'll find town dwarves, like town folk type of dwarves. They like the commerce, they like the trade, they like the hustle and the bustle, but most of them stay up in the hills and are, sticking to their ancestral ways. Elves, also very old forest-dwelling beings, probably came in from a Fey realm. They are pretty aloof. They don't mingle with humans too much. They let the humans in at the behest of the wizard, but once civilization started spreading, they got kind of pushed back and have a, like humans, you guys gotta calm down. Ghouls kind of a bad rap because they did something dumb, but ghouls they used to be the shepherds of the living to the dead. So when souls died in the realm, they were the people that made sure the soul got to where it was supposed to go. They used to be against undead. They used to kind of be stalwart defenders of life and death. But when evil came around and darkness, a lot of them joined sides with them and started turning their abilities to keeping souls trapped and using souls for their own sake.
Makes sense.
So you can actually
I shouldn't say makes
have
sense, but I get it.
you can have that spectrum of the old soul keeper style versus the newer servants of oblivion and evil. Sprites, little fake creatures. They're tiny. They fly around.
Are they that big?
They're like, I think they're a foot. Let's see. I don't think they really even say, like, this book is so thin on abilities, but they are not big. They are a foot to a foot and a half tall. Yeah, they're tiny. Like so.
But what is up with them though? They just from the forest?
So they're pretty much from the Fae realms, where they're either in service to the High Lords, the Fae courts. There's 3 of the Fae Lords. So there's a good, there's a neutral, and there's an evil court. Each with... Titania is the good queen. Oberon is the evil queen, and Mab is the neutral queen of the 3 sisters of the Fae realm. Guess who's in Hacked? That's not even English. Who's not hacked anymore? I guess you got your account back. So you can play as someone that's in service to those. Someone who's just like kind of a commoner sprite that's made their way into the normal realm to see what it's all about. Or you could have been exiled. You pissed off one of the courts and they exiled you to the realms.
Gotcha.
And trolls are kind of like... They're kind of like the large version of dwarves. They have this huge background in ancestry, and they're a little bit more savage and primal, like Viking-like. But they also had a bad rap. They were used for evil armies and conscripted, and kind of have a stigmata in them in the community as just being big brutes that are evil, and seen as monsters instead of people. So.
All right. So this is just an ancestry. It's not necessarily who I am.
Yeah, because you also pick a class,
Gotcha.
which goes on that. So
let's do ghoul.
Of course. So ghouls can be found throughout the realm, although the sepulcher is home to the largest gathering of them. The ghouls live in settlements or in the city, where they're employed as gravediggers, dung sweepers, chimney sweeps, and other professions that keep them out of sight. Other ancestries tend to shun them for their hideous appearance and their penchant for eating the dead. Not all ghouls are evil, though. A great many are. Of course, some ghouls defy expectations and join adventuring parties. So,
I'll be the good kind. All right.
So here's the character sheet. It's a pretty straightforward character sheet, 1 page. So under Ancestry, you can write ghoul.
A lot of these ones that want character name and your name, like it's a test.
Yeah, like
in case we all picked Travis as our name, so we need to.
Pretty much every character sheet has that your name on there. I mean, it just kind of makes sense if you're. I ran in groups where the GM would always keep your character.
I could see that if that happened, yeah.
And also if you're at like. Game stores, they may want you to leave character sheets so you don't, they know you're not messing with them and all that. So they might have hundreds of character sheets for like D&D adventures and other kinds of things like that.
Sense,
Adventures League. But I always put me. I just your name, me. All right. So, two of your abilities. So you see some stats there. You have Strength and Craft right underneath the Talisman. Strength and Craft are the basis of this game. Like, this game, Talisman only breaks down, the board game only breaks it down into Strength and Craft. Strength being your physical attribute and craft being your mental attribute to take care of everything in the game. This breaks it down a little bit further, putting 3 sub abilities under each one.
So there's brawn, agility, and metal under strength, insight, wits, and resolve under craft.
Yeah.
This reminds me a little bit of Into the World.
Yeah. So, generally, the caps for those abilities underneath Strength and Craft are 6. Your Ancestry will give you 2 abilities. A choice between 2 abilities that you can focus in and get higher.
Like, is there a cap on being higher too, or no?
7. Yeah, it allows it to go to 7.
One extra one,
yeah. So for ghouls, you can increase the maximum for either metal or wits.
Either one, not both?
Not both. So you pick one and underline it.
Let's do wits then.
Okay. So wits is intelligence, memory, cunning. It's all those. All right. So backgrounds, you can pick of the 3 kind of like in this. They only have 3 basic backgrounds of where a ghoul could come from in the world. You can roll randomly or choose. The 3 are Gravehound, which is kind of like the evil version. It even has a note here. This background is not recommended for beginning players or adventuring parties with mixed alignments because they are pretty much serving oblivion and evil. The second is Diaspora, which is the people, the ghouls that left wherever they were from and settled in the civilization. It's living with non-ghouls and trying to be a part of civilization. And lastly, Soul Keeper, which are the ones that have tried to pick up what they used to be and be the guardians of the dead.
Gotcha. Let's do that one then.
So Soul Keeper. You're going to get +1 resolve for being a Soul Keeper.
Do I just put a 1 in there?
You just put a +1 in there or next to it because you're going to deal with that attribute delving later.
Gotcha.
You gain the lore skill. So under skills, you can just write lore. You seek to fulfill your purpose as a shepherd of the dead, sending souls on to whatever fate awaits them, rather than keeping them enslaved in service and forced to endure a twisted unlife. You begin the game with a spirit follower. In a non-violent encounter with spirits or other undead strangers, they react 1 step higher on the attitude chart to you. So you're going to have a spirit to begin with as a follower, and spirits and undead will react to you differently than, say, mortals, so humans and things like that. Okay, so you get this ability, so there should be a special abilities section. You have Spirit Sense, so a ghoul can always sense the presence of a spirit within 10 meters, even if the spirit is invisible.
Alright.
Now you get to choose one of these 3. You can be a Soul Drinker, which I don't think is going to work for Soul Keepers. After killing an opponent in second combat, you can make a craft test against a hard difficulty to absorb its soul. On success, you can heal yourself for 1d6 life or 1 wound. So that's a bit bad. There's Rise. You can create an undead shambler follower from a dead body. You suffer 1 wound when you're done. You can later absorb this follower's soul to heal 1 wound. It disintegrates when you're done. And lastly, there's Shepherds of the Dead. You can see spirits that are invisible to others, and you can converse with spirits that are otherwise mute. In a non-violent encounter with spirits, they react 1 step higher to you on the attitude chart.
Rise.
Rise?
Yeah.
Okay. Make sure you don't eat them, otherwise you're not a Soul Keeper anymore.
Yeah, I know. But I can have 2 followers then.
You can have a lot more than 2.
I'm just saying I could automatically just kind of keep one around. What does the Rambler do, Shambler?
It's just it can absorb damage for you. Like, they're just zombies.
Yeah, alright.
Alright. So that is race. We can go through some of the others, like...
What does lore do?
Lore is just knowledge.
Okay.
Like knowing an area or something like that. So, just to go through some of the others, humans' backgrounds are nomad, city dweller, or farmer. So nomad being just that kind of wandering person. The city dweller is the civilized human, where the farmer is like the village, rural human. They get abilities where generally they can like fit right in. We're friends, right? Where are the people? Where the people are. So they can sense the direction of civilization when they're out in the wilderness. They can step up attitude charts when dealing with other people, and fit right in is you can re-roll a d6 when you're in an environment with other humans type of thing. Dwarves have Hillguard, Cragborn, and Townsmith. So Hillguard gain the Intimidate skill, and they're all about having an heirloom weapon and being that kind of Thane style, like heir to an ancestry in a house. Cragborn are up in the mountains. They are kind of considered nobles amongst the dwarves. And Townsmiths live amongst the humans and work and are industrious. They get things like tunnel sight. They can reroll dice while underground, always know where they are underground and how to get out of a cavern, things like that. Elves have Fey Friend, so they're more into the Fey area with the courts and the three queens. There's Lore Keepers, who are just the wizened, intelligent library book, kind of elves. And then the Forest Guard, which are more like the wood elves with their bows and trying to save the forest and the woods from encroaching civilization. We went through the ghoul. The sprites we talked about as well, being the courtier, working for one of the Fey courts, being a commoner in the Feywild that's now exploring civilization, or being in exile. They have flight, which is really nice, and they all have like abilities to charm or curse or bless people.
So they're not very combat oriented.
No.
They're all craft.
It depends on their class, but yes, they should not take warrior as their class. And trolls. Trolls are bridge wardens, world walkers, or ironbound. Ironbound are kind of like artisans. They're like the smiths and the creators of the troll race. World walkers are their, wandering troll kind of fighter. Like they're normally a little bit more confrontational, and the bridge wardens are intimidators and guards type of thing.
Well, they're just like extorters. They're like, 2 gold or you can't pass.
Pretty much. So now we get into the class. They actually put a lot of classes in here, and a lot of them are from the core Talisman game.
I thought Soul Keeper was my class.
No, that's just your ancestry. That's just your ancestry.
Oh, gotcha. I put that in class. That's silly since I've played the board game.
So here's the things you can play in this game. Assassin, a druid, a minstrel, a priest, a prophet, a sorcerer, a thief, a warrior, a wizard, and that's it.
Priest. I mean, for a solo campaign. What was it? A sorcerer then?
Sorcerer?
Sorcerer. That's not an evil class, is it?
Generally, yes. Actually,
we'll go back then, because assassin's obviously evil.
I mean, they don't have to be evil, but they are...
What was after assassin? So, sorry.
Assassin, druid.
Let's do druid then.
Ooh.
I'll buy
nice nature,
woods, yeah.
Nature warden. Dealing with animals and things like that. Ghoul druid. Very weird.
Yeah, well, I mean, he's trying to resurrect the old ways and kind of staying out of town a little bit, maybe.
Holding themselves apart from questions of faith and cosmic loyalties, druids are students of the natural world around them. They dedicate themselves to seeing the world, including its shifting circumstances, for what it is, no more and no less. A druid's power carries an obligation to act wisely. All the spells in the world won't help if the wielder doesn't understand the situation at hand. One with the land. The realm itself is a druid's primary concern and source of power. The powers on high and the dark powers attempt to work their will upon the realm by influencing its creatures and constructed interpretations. Some druids find these ideologies persuasive, serving them until their perspectives shift. Druids pursue many of the same goals as other adventurers, but they contemplate the potential consequences of their actions more than most. Druids have a complex relationship with the Fey powers. Both Druids and Fey use nature magic, derived from the deep understanding of the realm and the intricacies of its being. Where the Fey would alter the realm into a strange and shrouded land all their own, most Druids want to preserve the realm as it is. At the same time, the powers of the Fey is intertwined with the living world itself. Weakening one harms the other. Druids seek a delicate balance between Fey influence and mortal needs.
Well, that kind of fit with Soulkeeper a little bit, not really. It's just an ancestor.
Yeah. As a druid, you can draw upon perceptiveness, spellcasting, willpower, and personal magnetism to resolve conflicts. Your spells manipulate plant and animal life, deceive the senses, and call forth the creative and destructive potential that first shaped the realm. As you explore wild and dark places, you can transform your inner and outer self, your allies and your enemies, and the land around you to whatever way serves you. Your druid casts nature spells, so you'll probably want to increase your resolve aspect and your craft attribute.
Cool, I got a +1 to resolve.
You got a +1 to resolve? So, creating a druid. So is that what you're going with?
Yeah, let's do it.
When you choose this class, you gain the following features. So your strength is 2, and your craft is 4.
Constitution is my dumb stat again. I guess I could brawn up. But.
Your life is 9 plus your metal or resolve, which you don't have yet. So under life... Right there.
Life.
Just put 9 for right now. 9 plus. Your mana is your craft score.
Why is it 9? Sorry.
9 because it's 9 plus your metal or resolve, which you don't have yet.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
Your mana is going to equal your craft score. So right now it's 4, but that's not necessarily what it's going to stay at.
Mana. Spell points, maybe.
Yes.
No, it's my craft at the moment.
It is your craft at the moment. 4.
Plus something. Yeah, I'll put.
So skills: you gain animal handling, healing. You already have lore. Notice.
Perception.
Spellcasting. And survival. You also gain either melee or missile weapons.
Let's do missile weapons.
Alright. You can choose a focus in animal handling as well as a focus in survival or spellcasting. So next to animal handling, put a plus. We'll get that in a second. And I would suggest doing spellcasting if you're going to be a spellcaster. That's sense. Automatically nature.
Yeah.
So just put in parentheses nature. You don't have to put the plus. There's only one focus.
I got you.
And it's what you cast at. Alright, core features. When you choose this class, you gain 2 special abilities common to all druids. Nature Spellcasting and Life of the Realm. So you don't have to worry about Nature Spellcasting, know that you have it. The other one is Life of the Realm.
What does that mean?
We'll see. Then you're going to choose one of the following features, which I'll get to. But we'll go over your casting. The special Nature Spellcasting. This special ability allows you to cast and retain memory of nature spells. You begin play with 3 nature spells committed to memory and recorded in your runestones. You can memorize a total number of spells equal to your craft plus 1. Gotcha. After you have chosen your spells, pick one of them and underline the spell as your characters on your character sheet. That spell is enduring, which means it cannot be permanently lost or burned.
Gotcha.
There's going to have one spell that you're just...
I know it by heart.
You know it by heart. All the other ones, so you're going to have 3 that are on runes. So even if you burn them, you can rememorize them later from your runes. But like if you were to get a new spell from a scroll and commit it to memory, once you burn that one, you don't have it anywhere else.
Gotcha.
It would just be gone. But the enduring one, you can never lose. It's always in your memory. New spells can be learned from a wide variety of sources, deciphering from ancient scrolls or texts granted by a magical creature, learned from an elderly sage. At any time, you can replace an existing memorized spell or memorize a new spell up to your maximum by spending an hour per spell. So if you need to redo spells, it's just hour per spell of what you're switching or memorizing as a new. You also begin with a number of spell points equal to your craft, which is there. Spell points are the energy to fuel your spells. Casting a basic spell costs 1 spell point. If you run out of spell points, you can choose to burn a spell. Burning a spell removes it from your memory, and you cannot cast that spell again until you relearn and memorize the spell. The exception to this is your enduring spell. After a full rest, 8 hours, you automatically recover all enduring spells. When you burn a spell, you also get a +2 bonus to its spell casting test. And if you roll a 6 on the Kismet die, when you get a standard success or higher during your spellcasting test, you do not lose memory of the spell. However, if you roll a 1 on the Kismet die during the spellcasting test, and you only get a failure or only a standard success during a spellcasting test, you lose memory of that spell, even if you didn't deliberately burn it.
Gotcha.
So, Life of the Realm. The power of the realm and living things rise within you and sustains you against harm. When you roll a standard success or better on any test, you can spend 1 fate and 1 spell point to regain 1d3 plus 1 life. If you are in a forest, you regain life equal to 1d6 plus your resolve instead. So, anytime you succeed... anytime you succeed on any roll,
you get a life back?
you can choose to spend a fate and a spell point to get life back.
Oh, okay.
So
okay.
it's just like as you're going about your business and your
sense.
world, you
I
just
missed that
heal
part, so I
and
was
heal and
thinking
heal.
about it, and I was like, wait a minute, this sounds too good.
So now you get to pick one of these 3 or 4 features. 4.
One of these 4?
One of these 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Animal Fellowship, Animal Features, Anointed by Oak, or Anointed by Hawthorn.
Let's give me the Oak and Hawthorn first.
Okay, so these are mutually exclusive. Mm-hmm. So if you pick one, you can't have the other.
Makes sense, yeah.
So Anointed by Oak, you unite flesh and craft with a natural power and wisdom of the oak. You can spend fate to temporarily replace one strength-based aspect with your best craft-based aspect, or vice versa. This change lasts for 10 minutes. So, like, if you needed to use strength and your strength is crap, you could instead use your highest craft attribute in its place. Yeah. So that's pretty bad.
That's kind of like the alignment switching from the game, sort of, but this time it's skills.
So, yeah, it's your attribute switching. Anointed by Hawthorn. With magic and discipline, you have shaped your flesh to hide the sharp thorns of the hawthorn tree. Your thorns remain hidden until you are attacked. When you roll a standard success or better on a defense test against a melee attack, you can spend a fate to inflict damage to the attacker equal to your craft. It's basically thorns pouring out of you.
Animal features?
So animal features, again, Animal Fellowship and Animal Features are also mutually exclusive. So
you just read both of them then, I guess.
So Animal Fellowship is anytime you enter a forest, you can spend a fate point to gain a random animal follower.
Gotcha.
And you'll just get an animal follower.
Dang, I could have a spirit follower, an animal follower,
a spirit, and undead,
and then in addition
zombie.
My other followers that I just have with me.
But animal features are your flesh can take on the aspect of animals so long as you have seen and studied that kind of creature. This transformation takes 1 minute and 1 fate. Choose one of the following: claws. Your 2 claws count as a single attack, dealing 1d6 plus brawn or agility damage. Thick hide or carapace. Gain 2 armor so long as you are not wearing armor. Gills, you can breathe water as well as air. Sprinting legs, your speed increases to 20 plus your agility score. and keen senses, you gain a bonus die to all notice checks. You remain transformed for 1 hour or until you use this feature to transform again. At the end of the duration, if you are conscious, you can spend another fate point to add another hour to the duration. So you're getting 1 out of all of those.
And then with the animal features, I can only pick one of those things, or I can pick one of those things every time I use an animal feature.
You can pick one of these things every time you use this ability, but you can only have one active at a time.
Perfect. Let's do that one then.
Okay, animal features.
And that's special abilities?
Yes. All right. So now we're going on with the rest of character creation. Choose your alignment: evil, good, or neutral.
Let's do good.
Good. You're raising undead. Their souls trapped
Neutral.
in them? Come on.
No, I'm giving part of my life force to raise, and that's why I lose a hit point when I do it.
No. You consume their souls to die. Like, did you not read what it was? Or hear what it was?
Yeah, explain it one more time.
Yeah. All right. Where are you?
The one before, yeah.
Nope. You can create an undead shambler follower from a dead body. You suffer 1 wound when you're done. You can later absorb this follower's soul to heal 1 wound.
Well, the follower's already dead. I'm not really...
Its soul, not
I'm just
yours.
asking it to help me. I just won't need its soul. When it's finished, it can go. I'll help it go back.
Now, if you eat the soul, it's
No, I'm not
dead,
going to eat
dead.
the soul. Yeah, I'm not eating the soul.
Yeah. Just to let you know.
Gotcha.
Alright, animal features. So,
What is so? Oh, we'll probably get to it, but I have ancestry, which is ghoul. Oh, it's background soul keeper.
background is soul keeper.
That's where that goes. I'm learning.
Alright. So now you get a bonus point to add to either your strength or craft.
Craft.
I'm just gonna.
Yeah, let's do it to strength.
In either way.
I always end up like
More spell points if you put it on
yeah,
craft.
Let's do craft. Fuck it, I'll just go ahead and be a druid caster.
Now, this is how this works.
Uh-oh.
You multiply your strength by 2.
Okay.
So it's 4, right?
Yeah.
That's how many points you have to put in those 3 attributes.
Ooh.
Nothing higher than 6, but I don't think you have to worry about that.
Cool.
Multiply your craft by 2, and that's how many points you have to put in.
Jeez. Let's do. What was the underline for wits?
You can go up to 7.
I can go up to 7. Okay, cool.
So in this game, you have 3 attributes under the main attribute. Your career will give you your 2 starting main attributes, the strength and craft, but then you multiply those by 2, and that's a number of points you get to distribute between the 3 abilities underneath it.
Now, brawn is probably my toughness, agility
strength.
is my speed, and then metal is my toughness then?
Toughness,
Okay,
yeah.
cool. Insight is...
Insight is your wisdom and intuition. Wits is intelligence and memory, and resolve is your willpower.
Gotcha. Wits is what, one more time?
Intelligence and memory, and cunning. So to put it this way. Where did
Alright, so I got a +1 to my resolve, so I added that. Alright.
So brawn is physical might and vigor, agility is nimbleness and overall dexterity, metal is overall health, endurance, and toughness.
Gotcha.
Insight is intuition and powers of observation. Wits is mental acuity and raw intelligence. Resolve is strength of will and mental fortitude. So like insight is your perception and not being lied to and things like that.
So when I raised my... Oh, so I get... My spell points are 5.
5.
Plus 1, right? No, it's how many I can hold.
Yeah.
I can hold 5 plus 1.
Craft plus 1. So it's... No. Well, yeah, sorry. You can hold 6 spells, but your spell points is 5. Your life is 9 plus your metal or resolve, whichever is higher. So I think that's your metal. Or I mean your resolve.
It's my resolve for sure.
Yeah. So 13.
Dang, for not having any metal, I'm pretty fucking...
Yeah. You just have a will to live.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So, step 5, final touches. We're getting to... You're going to choose 2 skills or focuses. So, this is going to be able to customize your character. You can add any 2 skills, any 2 focuses, or 1 skill, 1 focus.
What is a focus and where does that go?
So you have... Where did you have the plus? No, they'll be next
animal
to your
handling
spells.
is a focus.
So here, for example, because we need to get you your animal handling.
I also didn't get my
spells yet. Yeah, we're not done yet.
Enduring spell. What can I add on that plus 1 to my enduring spell?
No.
Okay.
These are just skills.
Cool.
So under animal handling, you already get to choose a focus because of your character. That focus can be a specific animal species. It could be for training or it could be for controlling. So
for a specific species, training or controlling.
Those are 3 different things: a specific animal species, or training, or controlling. So
controlling.
Okay.
That's kind of neutral. Do I just write controlling next?
Controlling. Yep. So now here are all the skills.
Holy moly!
So you get to pick 2 more.
2 more.
Or instead, you can pick 2 focuses under skills you already have, or 1 of each.
So if I pick something under one that I have, does it add anything to it, or it's just that's just the modifier basically? Like when I roll against, like if I want to use psychic, it's based on wits or insight.
Yeah, that's not a focus though. Focuses are underneath it. Attack, defense.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
So
this is just what you roll with it.
Oh, I can only pick a focus. I'm not picking a new skill.
You can.
Okay.
You can pick up to 2 of these things.
Okay.
Skills or focuses.
Gotcha. Okay.
So you can you can get an entirely new skill that you don't already have written down, or you can add a focus to a skill you already have. You can do that twice.
Gotcha.
Also, one thing to point out is this: without psychic combat or the psychic ability, you cannot yourself engage spirits and creatures like that in combat.
Gotcha.
Like they'll be.
All right. When it says weapon type, choose one. Do I have to go through the weapon types to choose a type of weapon?
Sword, sickle. Like you're gonna get a sickle. You're gonna get a staff.
A missile sword. It's a missile weapon.
Oh, you're gonna do missile weapon. Yeah, it's an arrow, bow and arrow, crossbow, sling.
So I'm gonna take that psychic then.
Psychic. Okay.
And then I kind of want to do missile weapons. I also kind of want to do survival.
You already have survival.
Not survival. It's a focus though. All right, I can pick a focus now, right?
Yep. So for survival.
Yeah, it would have been like I could survive in the forest better, but I got enough pluses for that anyway, so let's get that. Yeah, let's go with missile weapons.
Okay.
You
don't have to pick just missile weapons because you don't have a focus in it.
Yeah. Plus, there we go.
All right.
So wait, then my focus is picking a weapon type.
Nope. You don't have a focus in it.
What did I pick that for then?
Did you?
I didn't have missile weapons.
You picked melee weapons before.
No, it was a missile weapon. I was being a caster and shooting. I didn't pick melee weapon.
Weird, because you said melee weapon out loud.
Oh, I'm sorry. Well, I wrote missile.
Okay. That doesn't include spells, though. So you're just going to be all ranged?
No, I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
That wouldn't make sense. Okay.
I mean,
there we go. So now, because it doesn't have a specialization, I'm picking the specialization.
No, what did you just erase?
Missile. I'm changing it to melee.
Okay. So melee and missile weapons are 2 different skills.
Oh, gotcha. Specific weapon type. Choose one. It's the same thing.
It's for focuses, though. That's for focuses.
So my focus is, what is my focus supposed to be for it then?
So are you going with another skill picking missile weapons, or are you going to go with a focus for your melee weapons?
Gotcha. Okay, so then now that I've got melee weapons, probably not then. Let me look at the other focuses real quick.
Or get missile weapons as well.
Yeah, let's do missile weapons.
Yeah.
All right. So psychic and missile weapons.
So you can, your melee...
I can shoot,
And you can shoot, and you can attack, fight melee, and you have spells.
Okay, this is a pretty weird character.
There you go. Yeah.
This druid, he's so neutral. He's not going to be so strong at anything. Jack of all trades, master of none.
Alright, so you picked your 2 skills and or focuses, gaining missile weapons and psychic combat. Now we are determining your max load and speed. So I think those are...
Max load is right here.
Right. So your max load is your strength times 3.
Yay.
So is it 3?
6.
Oh, your strength is actually...
Yeah.
Oh, strength. Yeah, your top level. Your speed is 10 plus your agility. So 12.
Just a touch less than my life. This is extremely round character.
Your physical damage modifier is strength. 2, right? So.
Oh, plus 2.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And your psychic damage modifier is your craft. So 2 and 5. Alright, gear. A druid starts with a scythe. You can take a staff or a shield.
Side. Does it have a C in it?
Yes, Scythe.
Yeah. Good thing I'll be teaching those soon.
Yeah.
I just said it because I wrote it down and I was like, that's not right. All right.
You can choose a staff or a shield. Shield is for defense, staff is another melee
Yeah,
weapon.
let's go shield.
Okay. Leather armor. There's a whole kind of list here, but you can say like adventurers pack. Do you want to list all these things
Yeah,
out?
that's fine. We'll just go with it.
It's a haversack, a bedroll, a tinderbox, a mess kit, water bottle, and tin torches.
Okay, so it's kind of like a,
adventures.
yeah, it's a D&D kind of.
Yep.
It's like a Dungeoneer's pack.
You have your 3 rune stones.
So I put those in spells or I make them over here?
Just put equipment for now, and then we'll mark the spells that you have with them.
Alright, so I have 3 so far.
A healer's kit, and roll 1d6 and add 1, and that's how much gold you start with.
Ooh, 4.
So you start with 4
That's
gold.
Not too bad. That's pretty
In the
rich
game, in the game, that's
the board
pretty
game,
rich.
it's rich. Yeah.
Is there any additional, do you want a ranged weapon to start?
Do I have to buy it?
Yes.
What kind of range weapons are we talking about?
Bow, crossbow, dagger to throw, a net, a sling.
Ooh,
So-
what does a net cost?
Net costs 1 gold.
Let's do the net then. Because I can get into all kinds of crazy trouble with a net.
You can catch animals to train.
Hell yeah. Except I'm not training on control.
Well, you have to train them to control them.
I have to train them to control them.
Yes, they have to know commands
I'm not.
for you to
I see
control
what you're saying.
them.
I thought I was like mentally.
No,
controlling
it's
them
not
rather
a
than
spell.
training. Gotcha.
What are they doing? Yes, this is Talisman Adventures. It is a role-playing game set in the Talisman world.
Have you been here before, Tharkus?
So,
Maybe.
and it's a playtest document that they've released. You can buy it on DriveThruRPG or in physical, wherever.
So on this stream, we do a D&D campaign on Wednesdays called the Cardinal Bond, and then we play another D&D Saltmarsh campaign on Sundays. But then every so often when we have time, usually on a Tuesday, we play Wiley versus Mitch. Wiley's a DM. I'm kind of a new player. I've only been playing for a couple of years. He's been playing for like 30 plus. So we introduce new games, so I get to learn the lore a little bit. We make a character, and then he puts me through like a normal encounter. We do some of that sort of thing, and then what we'll do is we'll spend a couple minutes afterwards buffing this character up a little bit, and then put it against...
We're not going to do that, though.
Huh?
We're not going to do that,
We're not
though,
gonna
because they don't have advanced.
Gotcha. So, but then that's what we normally go down, except for in Talisman, and then he will make a much stronger character that will kill me. So we can see what combat looks like at different levels. You're more than welcome to ask questions, obviously, because we're answering them already. We do like interaction. And then if you come on any of our other games, the bits that are there, you earn bits, is that what it's called?
Chat points.
You earn chat points if you hang out for a bit. In our others games, those can be used for inspiration. So we let we let viewers help the characters re-roll bad rolls, or let the DM re-roll monster rolls to give us the disadvantage sometimes, which has had some interesting consequences as well. So, yeah, stick around. And like I said, if you have any questions, just ask. Currently, I am a ghoul druid.
Okay, so you're gonna be picking 3 spells.
Okay.
That have to be nature based because
Yeah.
that's what you are.
Was brainwave a nature skill?
No. So, I'm just gonna list them. There's not a lot. It's 2 pages worth. So of the nature spells, so there might only be 3.
Oh, perfect.
Nope, there's 4. So, Cloak of Shadows. Obscure area. No. Cloak of Shadows cloaks you or an ally in shadow, and that absorbs damage. So it's kind of like a darkness shield. Eyes of the Hawk. I really like this one. You can basically point at a point that you can see that's of a higher elevation than you and move your senses to there so you can look around and survey the area. Extinguish. You can clothe yourself or an ally in a protective magic that reduces the effects of fire. Choose yourself or an ally within reach as the spell's target. Cast on a success, the target can roll 1d6 plus your craft and reduce that amount from any damage that they would take as a result of contact to flames and fire.
Gotcha.
And it lasts for hours, equal to your craft, so like 5 hours.
Yeah.
Gust of Wind. You can harness the elements to generate a localized whirlwind. Choose an enemy or object you can see. Cast the spell. At gamer's discretion, an enemy larger than the average humanoid may increase difficulty. On its success, intense winds sweep the target. Any enemy caught up in the gust of wind is knocked to the ground and takes damage equal to your craft. Light objects in the area may also be swept up in the winds. This spell can be used to hurl objects off cliffs and other similar precipices, but enemies with adequate strength can usually find a way to keep themselves from plummeting great distance.
So I'm going to keep Cloak of Shadows as my...
Enduring?
Okay. I'm definitely taking Gust of Wind.
Alright.
These are for my runes, right?
Yeah. And Eyes of the Hawk?
Yeah.
Or...
yeah, because...
Extinguish? I'll also let you go into the Mystic Realm and take healing if you want.
I've got a healer's kit and healing as a skill, so I don't need that. So let's do Eyes of Hawk.
Okay.
Alright.
Alright. So, let's get you your followers. So, you start with a spirit follower. So, under followers... Spirit. It is an insubstantial scout. The spirit can pass through walls, allowing it to give vague report on what's on the other side. It can also be a psychic shield. The spirit can defend you against psychic effects. You may reduce damage you take from psychic attacks or spell effects by 1d6. Anytime you ask it to do these things, it takes a loyalty. And right now, so next to it, put 3. So it has a 3 loyalty right now. So, watch that. To restore loyalty, it has 10 life as well. To restore loyalty, restore 1 loyalty each day it is not disturbed. So each day that you ask it to ask nothing of it, it'll gain back a loyalty.
Gotcha, okay. So it'll never go away. The loyalty falls to 0 as
it goes away.
Peace out. Oh, okay, cool. So I can only use it twice a day.
You can only use it twice, or you can use it 3 times and it'll go away and you have to go find another one to try. Yeah.
Alright. That's the only follower I start with.
That's the only follower you start with. You can use Rise to raise a follower.
Gotcha. Okay. So for my armor, I got leather armor.
Yes.
So type, I'll put leather.
Mm-hmm.
Then it says protection.
Protection is 1. Wow, that's terrible.
Fine. And I have a shield. Yes.
You have a shield. Yes.
All right. Thoracus, have you played any of the Talisman board game expansions? Thoracus, I don't know. Nicholas Shea.
Nicholas Shea.
Just the base game, yeah. Wiley has every Talisman upgrade ever made, or update.
Since 2nd edition.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I can see 12 boxes over there, but there's probably more than that. Some of them, all of them add characters, right?
Just about all of them add characters.
They add new spells, they add viable objects. And then there's also pieces that add to the board, so you can actually end up having larger boards and differing boards.
You could eventually, if you know the board, each of the corners has a board piece that will attach to it. The forest, the dungeon, and the dungeon's off the crags, the forest is off the forest. The highlands the dungeon's off the ruins. The forest is off the forest. The highlands is off the crags, and the city is off the city. Then they put out more expansions that the little pieces like in between the highlands and the forest and the dungeon and the city, they put little pieces there too of board, like the catacombs that take you from the city to the dungeon, and the forest path from the highlands to the forest.
Yeah, we play Talisman here when we don't have anything else to do, but we all have a night off sometimes because we have 2 other people in our regular game group. And we've gotten fairly, at least familiar with Talisman. At least I have. I've played it like 4 or 5 times at this point. We've played several games, so I'm kind of looking forward to the day where we actually put those things on. So if you want, I hate doing this like on Facebook and junk like that, but like if you follow us, we play every Wednesday. Like I said, we're playing Sundays off and on as much as we can. This happens on Tuesday sometimes, but other little junk happens in between, and you're more than welcome to come check it out. And like I said, we respond, obviously, no matter what we're doing, so.
Right.
Yeah. Alrighty then. So I have made a ghoul druid whose background was in soul keeping. He's a neutral alignment druid. I said druid already. He has spirit sense, rise, life of the realm, animal features. I have a cloak. Cloak of shadows is one of my spells. I just wrote cloak because I'm not very bright. Gust of wind, eyes of hawk are my spells. My match spell points are 5. My followers right now is a spirit. I'm wearing leather armor. I have a shield. My combat physical damage modifier is +2. Psychic damage modifier +5. Speed of 12. Life of 13. And I think I'm doing okay. Looks alright. I got some lore. I got some healing. I got some notice, which is always important when you play a Wiley game.
All right.
Also, we're not sponsored by White Claw, but we're available. I should have said Talisman Energy Drink.
Talisman Energy.
Lord and Savior, welcome back.
What? How's it going?
That's 3 times this week, I think you've been here. It's going pretty good. We're doing the Wiley versus Mitch. We're introducing Talisman tonight. I just made a character. Wiley's going over some encounter real quick, and then we'll probably get at it. This game is played very differently. It's based off a board game, but you only have 3 D6. That's all it plays, and I'm the only one that rolls. He doesn't roll.
I never roll.
So if something's attacking me, I roll to see if it succeeds. If I attack it, I roll to see if it succeeds. So it's kind of a weird game. I'm playing a ghoul druid who's got some spellcasting to him. He's lightly armored. Very neutral character.
All right.
I've explained who I am 3 times.
Yeah.
It happens. It's good.
Means we have viewers.
Means people are watching.
All right. So you're a druid. Highlighted message.
Yeah, highlighted messages.
How many chat points do you have stored up?
Several thousand. For some reason, when I hold my spacebar down, it says BBC.
Weird.
Yeah, I don't know why it does that. Bit points. Oh, you're too nice, son bitch. All right.
So, you are wandering the land. You know, trying to keep the balance and perspective of things and all that fun stuff with your little spirit companion.
Ushering some souls when I find them. Learning some animal tricks here and there.
Pretending
to be a tree.
I'm a tree.
Oh, I didn't take pretending to be a tree. Never mind. Pretending to be animals.
Pretending to be animals.
Pretending to be animals.
Yep. When you're traveling along, when you see a small hamlet ahead of you, seems like a small community of probably farmers, little huts along a fairly worn path, no road really, just a little path from this place to wherever civilization is around here. There's little tendrils of smoke coming out of the cottages. Do you hide your appearance? I think you have a big green robe and...
Probably to a degree, yeah. I'm kind of physically appalling.
So
ghouls look like big green monsters with pointy kind of heads, so... And they got a bad rap, so I'm trying to hide myself a little bit.
Make a notice check.
I roll all three?
All three. So this is the first roll of the game. Difficulties in this game, there's a difficulty level chart. From easy to nearly impossible. An easy difficulty is like a 7, 8, 9 region. They kind of give like a full spectrum.
And am I going to add the total of all three dice?
You're going to add all three dice together.
But only the one that has anything special going on with it is this dice.
Is the Kismet. The Kismet, if it gets a 6, you get a fate. If it gets a 1, I get a fate. Oh, speaking of which, yes, I start with 2, and you start with 1.
Perfect. Actually, give me the pink D6 so that we can see it a little bit better on the camera.
And it fits with the other two.
Yeah, so they should look. One of them should look different, so we can call it the
Kismet
dice. Jesus, I don't know why I can't get that word right.
So, you're making a notice check, and there is a spectrum of successes because I don't roll dice against people. They've set up a system where there is a spectrum of success with complication. There's failure, success with complication, complete success, and extraordinary success kind of thing.
Gotcha.
So,
I have notice as a skill. Do I get a bonus to anything?
Yes. Because you have it as a skill, you get to add the attribute that is tied to it, which is insight.
Ooh. So I rolled a...
Don't do anything.
Yeah, so I'm lining them up. So I rolled a 4, 2, and a Kismet 2. So that would give me 8, but I'm going to add 3 for my insight, so that was an 11.
So that's an 11.
And I have double shot.
And so because he rolled 2 2s, he has a double in his roll. That took it. He succeeded. He exceeded the target number, so it's not a failure. And he got doubles, which turned it from a standard success to a great success. And then there's extraordinary success. So this is a success, a complete success without any consequences.
Gotcha.
This is what in D&D, if you hit the target number, you would get. So this is a what every other game would call a success.
Cool.
Where theirs, if you would have gotten that, it would have been a standard success, which you wouldn't have gotten the whole picture, or something would have happened against you.
Gotcha.
So,
but this is considered a standard success.
This is considered a great success.
Gotcha.
Because the doubles.
I like that the 6s roll underneath it.
Ding ding.
They're not printed the same way.
Huh? Nope.
I mean, that one's obviously 4 and 2, but this 2 and 3. All right.
You notice that there is a little, got pretty good eyesight, and a kind of a smell for these things. But besides the little farmlands that are around this, and this little hamlet, which is kind of up on a little hill, you notice that there is just this little gated off cemetery next to a shrine, and it seems that there's a lot of people out at the cemetery, so there may be a funeral in progress.
That sounds like my kind of gig. Let's go check it out.
All right.
I won't I don't want to like rush up in there or whatever, but I'll kind of come up behind the crowd and mingle in without talking really.
If you want, just to like throw this as an option out there because new game and you might want to flex. That little shrine that's next to it, has like a little steeple type thing. If you want, you could use that Eyes of the Eagle as you're approaching and
I don't want to spend
see.
a spell just yet.
Okay. But you would be able to like see as if you were sitting on the steeple and see what the people are doing and what's actually going on.
So if I do that, can I hear too, or am I just seeing?
You're just seeing.
Just seeing.
I'm pretty sure.
I'd rather get a little closer than.
Okay.
I like that you like Eyes of Hawk.
I love that spell.
Yeah.
I think it's a really cool spell.
Well, it also gives you opportunity to like give more description and fill more in and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's just vision. All right. So. You're walking up there.
Yes.
As you're getting closer, you notice that there's a lot of movement. A lot of people are moving around the graveyard for what would, you're not thinking it's a funeral anymore.
Gotcha.
You see that there is a pile of fairly large stones that have been put like on the outside of the fence, and there's people that are like on the outside of the fence grabbing the stones and handing them over the fence to people on the inside, and then those people are handing them off to other people.
So it's almost like they're fortifying something or barricading. I guess I could ask someone what they're doing.
And you're just continuing them, So as you continue even closer, some people notice you. I mean, you're just a lone person walking up to the cemetery, but you also notice that they are taking the stones and putting them like underneath the headstones. So like the headstones here, and they're just kind of like putting it.
Oh yeah.
On top.
I got a trick for you. Is my spirit visible? My followers?
It does not have to be.
Okay.
You can tell it to manifest.
They're definitely not going to be visible until anybody else.
All right. So as you move up, like someone's just sitting there, like wiping sweat from their brow, kind of leaning up against the fence, watching you come up, and just gonna give you a little howdy.
Howdy. That's my word. I'd say howdy. I'd just regular converse. Howdy. What's going on around here? Why are you putting stones on top of the graveyard?
Well, we got a little problem around here. It seems that our dead won't stay in their graves.
What? Maybe I can help you.
You're like drooling a little bit. Stop it. You're neutral.
Yeah. Has this been a problem long, I guess I would ask?
No, it just started picking up recently. Picking up. You're like...
we high-five each other.
It seems so. If you look, they just get right up, climb right over that fence, and head into that woods over there.
And how many have done this so far?
Well, we buried old Betty last full moon. So that's been about a lunar cycle and a half. Then there was Teddy after that. Poor little Rick. Succumbed to the illness.
So it's only the recent dead that have been rising.
Huh. Yeah, it seems so.
Also, since those are everybody's names, this guy's going to be Benjamin.
Benjamin.
Alright. So, I guess I don't know a whole lot about this world. Is there something that causes this sort of thing to happen, other than just like evil energy?
Evil, oblivion... sorcerers and necromancers, all kinds of things can cause bodies to get up and move around.
I wonder why it would be the new ones that are doing it, though. Is there a priest in town or someone a lore master?
Yes. There's an acolyte.
I was going to say, lore master first, but yeah, I'll take the acolyte, that's fine. Seems like you might be able to give me more info than Jethro here.
There's oh yeah, little Miss May over there has been to the city and prayed in the temple. She's the one that oversees all our funerary arrangements. And he seems very proud that he knows the word funerary.
So she's the gravekeeper. So we're taking notes for Game Online for once.
Yeah.
All right.
And you see this fairly young-looking girl in a white robe with a laurel wreath, kind of overseeing the things there. She has a cross of the higher powers, and she's got like a little glass bottle of what seems to be water. And as they're putting rocks down, she's sprinkling some water over it, over the rocks.
Excuse me. Spoken in what? I hear you're the town's gravekeeper or acolyte.
Yeah, I've trained at the temple in the city.
So your recently dead are springing up.
It would seem so, yes, but
So,
we're not taking any precaution. We're taking every precaution.
That was my next question. Is he still? This isn't this isn't all recent dead.
Yeah, no.
No, okay. I'm like, holy shit, that's a lot of.
This is 3 generations that's lived here.
Have you had perchance any strangers besides myself appearing in recent times? Seen any portents in the sky? Seen any lights in the woods?
We did have, we get travelers every once in a while through here, but we had this older fella come through, long white beard, robes, had a horse and cart, came in, reprovisioned, but Benjamin says that after he left town, he went north instead of... Oh, you're Benjamin. I thought you named the other dude Benjamin.
No, he's Jethro.
Oh, Jethro. So Jethro said that he saw him go off the path and head north.
Has anyone come back from that direction?
We don't go up there, so...
Have the comeback headed that direction?
Yes, that's where the recently resurrected is headed off to the woods in the north.
Well, I guess before I head out, I would ask her if she has any needs for a soul keeper, someone to usher. Are there any recent that haven't risen yet?
I was like, no, that's everyone.
Would it be weird for me to ask commoners about soul keeping? Like, hello.
Like she doesn't seem to understand soul keeper in context to ghouls, but she seems to think that you're some type of nature priest,
Gotcha.
which you are as a druid.
Yeah, cool.
So she's like, she's not taking your like.
And I look
not
like
using,
a ghoul, right?
Yeah, you look like a ghoul. So yeah, I'm assuming you have your hood pretty
That's
well
what I'm saying.
over.
So I could play it off as that I'm covered in moss.
Yeah, maybe.
It's just moss.
But she's
It's just moss.
you're not saying the right things for the light. The higher powers. But you obviously look and are sounding like a nature person, so she's coming from the
trying to like consecration.
The point of ignorance of you're talking about natural magic when she's doing divine magic, mystic magic.
I guess I'll ask her what the water is. What is it? Can I have some of your water?
She just says that it's blessed. It's been blessed.
And this works. So far,
Can't hurt.
Well, splash a little on me before I head to the Northwood. I'd
Nope,
Oh, neutral. No, that's not bad.
Yeah.
Right, cool. All right, so I will head north up the. Can people point me in the path?
Yep.
The dead people are going not where the cart went.
Yes.
Did the cart go a different way?
It was outside of town, so it may or may not have gone to the woods. But this path is pretty direct north to the woods.
All right,
this person just turned off, went north, and that's the last Jethro saw of it.
I guess it would probably make more sense to just follow the bodies, because if I go out of town and around, I might lose the trail. But if I know where the risen are going, the shamblers are going, then
Yep.
All right, let's follow them shamblers.
All right. So you head off across the fields, out across some grassland, and start approaching the woods.
Dark woods. What time of day is it?
It's getting towards like afternoon. Okay. Like it's 2-3 in the afternoon.
Are these woods thick, or can I see a distance into them?
It seems pretty light, but the trees are heavy trunked trees. They're not like thin trees that got big boles to them, and they're pretty hefty trees. So on the outside, they're pretty sparse, and you got a lot of space between them. The canopy is just letting sunlight through, but as you're looking deeper and the trees get closer and closer together and branches start mingling, the canopy sets overhead, it's probably going to get much darker.
Now, I don't want to metagame this, but if I'm to like look into the sky, can I just pick a point as far as I can see?
I believe you actually need to pick a physical point that you can rest on, like the spell can rest on.
Like a cloud? Would that
that would work. Oh, no, you can do it into the air. Yeah. You can cast your perspective skyward like a hawk taking flight to scout a location from above. Attempt a difficulty 11 test as a full action. On a success, your perspective shifts to a location of higher altitude you can see, allowing you to survey your immediate environs from a top-down view.
It has to be higher than me?
Yes.
That would be... All right, so this won't work in the tightness of a thing. So... Can I track these shambles? Are they easy to track? Do I need to survival check that?
Yes, do a survival check. But you can just put it over the forest and look down to see if you can see anything in the forest.
Let's do that. So
or the woods.
I'm going to cast a spell. So let's talk about spell casting real quick then.
Okay. So you're casting a spell.
Okay.
The difficulty is 11. It costs 1 spell point to do so. So.
I'm going to start making tick marks instead.
Yeah. And you can put the 5 and then just put tick marks of you casting. So you have your permanent...
That makes much more sense. You've played games before.
Yeah.
So have I. Alright, so here's 1.
So now you have to make a spell casting check.
Okay.
So spell casting is off of...
Wits.
I'm assuming... Wits. You have a focus on nature magic, and this is a nature spell, so you get an additional +2. So you get to add your wits +2. So +6.
So there's double.
Nice.
And 1, so it's a 9 + 6, so 15.
Yeah, so you only need an 11. That gets that. Now you are seeing down from above the forest.
I'd like to put my perspective about where it starts getting deeper.
Okay.
And looking.
And you're like looking down and seeing...
I want to see if it opens up anywhere, if there's fire, if there's anything. Both new to this game, so there's some reading going on. This is what I was doing on Sunday with the...
Alright. So looking over the forest, you do see it gets pretty thick and tangled, and you're just kind of looking over this canopy of trees, and then somewhere about a couple miles into the forest, you see this spire coming out, this man-made shingled pointed roof sticking out of the canopy.
Excellent. Alright, so now that I've spent this spell, I've spent a spell point.
Mm-hmm.
Eyes of the Hawk is currently not usable?
Nope, it's still usable. You haven't burned it. You can cast it until it's burned. So until you run out of spell points, or unless you roll a 1 on the Kismet die.
Oh, so let's say I've spent all 5 of my points and I want to spend this one more time.
And you want to cast it again. Then it burns.
Gotcha. But I have a rune
that'll allow you to relearn it.
Relearn it. Okay, cool. Just making sure I know what's going on. Alright. So I found that out. I'm going to go ahead and come back to my brain and head that way towards that steepled thing so I don't have to track anymore.
So you're heading in, and as you're getting to the edge of the forest, your ghoulie senses start tingling, and there is a spirit nearby.
And my spirit can commune with that spirit.
Maybe. And it's not part of the rules. You didn't take the thing that allows you to talk to spirits.
Oh, okay, that's what it's true. That's right. I'm psychic for battle, but not for...
Yeah, you took rise instead of speak with the dead.
Spirits, that's right. Silly me. Alright, and I don't see the spirit anywhere?
Nope, but you know it's in this direction. You can sense it.
Okay. Can my spirit see spirits? Even if they're invisible?
Possibly.
Could I command him to spirit search?
Like, you can... I'm pretty sure you can see it, even if it's invisible.
Oh, because I can sense it.
Yeah.
Alright, so I'll keep that in mind and continue to head forward then.
Come on, Ghoul.
New rules.
Ghoul.
Thanks for sticking around for this.
Yeah.
You guys that are watching.
You have spirit sense. A ghoul can always sense the presence of a spirit within 10 meters, even if the spirit is invisible. And it doesn't really say specifics, but...
That's alright, well then we'll just say that I can sense it, so I know that it's...
So you know it's there, you know it's in a certain direction.
Draw my... Wait, I can't psychic attack it with my sword.
No.
Okay, so I'll just keep myself on alert as I move forward.
So you're moving forward, and that's when you see that there is a wooden marker. It's fairly large, about 6 foot tall. It's shaved into like 4 sides, kind of just like a post almost.
Oh, this...
Yes, and pretty deep in the ground. You can see that's buried in there, and there's all these markings on it, and it's also fairly old. This thing is sealed in and kind of gotten hard and old gray wood. There's all these markings on it, and there's a spirit nearby.
Can I tell how near, or just know that it's around?
It's within 10 yards, or whatever it was.
I'll call out to it. Spirit, I know you're there.
Okay. This ghastly-looking haunt, this like floating, tattered creature with huge claws and a big slobbering, fanged mouth appears in front of you.
Do you need help passing? Sorry, do you need help passing?
It looks at you and says, like, it starts heading towards you. How far away are you from where you sit? Were you staying at like the 10-yard?
Yeah, I was kind of... Okay. That's why I said, how far can I tell away it is? Right. You said 10, and that's right.
So it was about 5 yards from in front of that thing, and you're 10 yards away, and it moves forward, and it stops just about the 10-yard point from that post. So it's 5 yards from you, and it just kind of like looking at you, and it kind of like screeches out, "Be gone!"
Have I seen anything like this before?
Make a lore check.
Lore is insight?
Wits.
Doubles. So 7 plus 2 is 9, plus 4 is 13.
You don't have...
Lore.
You don't have a focus in it, though. So you just get the...
It's just plus 4, so then it's 9, 11.
11, okay. You rolled a 1 on the Kismet die, which means I get a Dark Fate.
Sweet. But I got doubles.
So you got doubles, so you got doubles and you succeeded, so you got a greater success. This is pretty old, you could tell from that post, but these are like necromancy guard posts. Like necromancers and evil casters could bind spirits to these things, post them up, and basically they will attack anything that comes within their range.
So does this thing have a soul, or is it just a wandering?
It is a soul, but it is so far removed from what it was, it's kind of like lost its way.
And I'll walk around its kind of collar distance. It looks like it's got a 10-yard in either direction. All right, so I'll make my way around it.
And make a notice check.
Oh, yeah. So 15 plus insight?
Yes.
18.
So 18, you got a 6 on your Kismet die, which means you get a fate.
Yeah. My great fates.
You succeeded without doubles. That is a standard success. So you're moving around it and going up, and you notice the other one, 20 yards away from the original one, just as you step into its circle.
Wait, there's another one?
There's another one. They're literally 20 yards apart. So 10 yards, 10 yards.
All right, so
and you are moving around that one, and you moved into this one.
So I'll back away from the dead zone. Then
okay.
The
so you're gonna try to get back out.
Yeah.
Roll a defense check. Make it psychic battle. So psychic.
Psychic. So resolve.
Is psychic battle resolve? Let's find out.
I have a psychic damage modifier for can't combat.
Yeah.
Does it work the same way?
It is either wits or insight. So let's do insight for this, for defense.
Ooh, that's my lowest roll so far. 7, 8, 11.
Any doubles?
Nope.
What was the Kismet die?
3. Yeah. I'll pull them out so you can see them and keep them in the same.
You can also, if you want, spend a fate to re-roll one of those, or you can spend a fate just to upgrade the success level. So you go from it is a success. Well, hold on. I don't know if it's a success yet. Let me check.
I was like, is it a success? Then I don't want to spend a fate, but...
it is a success.
Okay.
But it's a standard success.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm going to go, you know what, I'll spend the fate and up the successes.
Okay. Because otherwise you'd have taken damage.
Yeah.
You'd have taken half damage. So that's like that carry off. Like, that's a defense roll. You didn't get a great success. You had a standard success, which means you would have taken half damage from the creature.
Yeah.
But you spent a fate to upgrade the success from a standard to a greater. So now you are free and clear. The thing appears in front of you, takes slashes at you, but you would just notice that just in the nick of time and backed up.
Now that I have,
and now they're both like
cool.
floating in front of you.
Now that I've successfully not taken jump damage, can I attack one of them?
You want to engage one in psychic combat?
Yes, because I have psychic damage modifiers plus 5. So
you're going to have to move up to it essentially and engage it in psychic combat, right?
I'll stay right on the edge. Yeah.
Yeah, it's still going to be able to hit you because you have to be able to hit it.
Yeah,
for
of course.
I
get that completely.
Got it.
Right.
So you're moving up to one of them. Mm-hmm. Is it the original one or
the
this
original one?
Okay, the
original.
original.
I already spoke with him, and he's been a dick. So. 7, 10, 15.
All right, 15.
3 is the Kismet.
3 is the Kismet, no doubles. So that is a standard success to attack. So attack psychic. Standard success is you strike your target for full damage, but the game master can choose one of the following. An opponent with a ranged or melee attack strikes you for half damage, or an opponent with a ranged attack fires at one of your allies. Either way, you suffer disorientation from the psychic effort, and all your psychic attacks are at a -1 for an hour. Disorientation penalties are cumulative.
That's on a success.
That's on a success. Standard success. Again, like this is because I don't get to attack you with these creatures.
Yeah.
This is its attack.
Gotcha.
So it's going to going to hit it for full damage. It's going to hit you for half damage, and you're going to have a -1 for all your psychic attacks.
Perfect. So my next question then would be: is that what the Wraith thing is? That's its attack, or that's a standard psychic exchange?
This is the standard psychic exchange for this this Wraith. Yeah.
What is the actual name of this creature?
We'll just call it a Spectre.
Okay.
So I have its damage over here, and what it is. Mm-hmm. I have its special abilities, if it has any.
Well, no, I'm saying, like, say I attack something else psychically, and I get a standard thing. Do I also suffer my disorientation?
Yes.
Okay, so that's what I meant.
This is the standard result.
That's a staple. Your standard result with the psychic attack creates a -1 for future ones that also stacks.
Yep.
At least I halved my damage. Also down here,
all right.
I actually get wounds.
Yes, okay. That is if you go into 0 negatives and start taking real damage. Okay, so you can spend that if you want to upgrade the success, or you can...
I'm going to hold off this time. Okay. I'm going to spend all my fate. Plus, let's see some damage exchange, you know?
Right.
We're learning.
So you are going to roll a d6 plus your psychic damage modifier.
A 6 total. I'm going to spend the fate point to roll that, because that's not very much. Don't you do that to me. 6. Alright, I am fateless. I did 6 damage. And now I have no fate. Right after I said save it. I panicked. I saw a D&D 1 and I was like, no, even though it was damage instead of action.
Alright, so you did 6, and it is going to do...
You don't roll, do you?
Well, I roll for damage, I guess. So 5 halved by math would be 3.
It's a 4.
Yep, plus 1.
Oh, plus 1, damn it. Is it 3?
3. So you take 3 life.
1, 2, 3 right there.
You also have that -1 to all future psychic combat.
Perfect.
Yeah, what are you doing now? It's attack. Yeah, it looks hurt.
Alright, let's do it again. I just roll 1 dice?
No, the entire attack.
Oh, that's right. See if I succeed, then I roll the damage. Gotcha. Ooh,
Hey.
8 with a double, and 1 is 9 plus my insight, you said? Or psychic battle?
It's psychic battle, which is
We decided that it was insight, so plus 8.
what's it insight? It is.
It said choose one. Didn't it?
Well, it said choose one, and I was doing it for defense. So it's wits for this.
Okay, so plus 4.
For
so
attack.
then it'll be 17.
17 hits. You got the doubles.
Perfect.
You didn't roll a 1 or a 6 on the
I did
Kismet,
not.
so good.
Nope.
So that is a greater success, which is you have a -1 to that, but
Yeah.
you
Oh,
still
okay,
succeed.
So, yeah.
Your attack is a complete success. You inflict full damage on your target, and your opponent does not get an action.
Full damage means that.
You roll your d6.
Oh,
You got the
okay.
same thing with. Yep.
Make it an 8. Dang. Can't wait to tell Kaylin that her dice were good luck for me.
It
Don't touch my dice.
like you tear into it, and it discorporates.
Can I march its soul on?
Sure. Let's roll something for that.
Yeah, let's do. How about resolve? Because I'm willing it to move on.
Resolve is your.
Yeah. So.
So let's do wits. It's pretty much the same.
Or do you want to just do a general craft? I'm just kidding. That's too high. Plus
Now
one.
let's just do a psychic at wits. So
doubles. So 6, 7, 11 with
All right.
doubles.
as it's discorporating, you start your soul keeping and get it to go to the other side, and you actually see it like forms back into a shape of a person. Looks like a human farmer, and is thank you.
You're weak.
And that post cracks and splits and kind of like starts moldering right in front of your eyes and falls to the ground.
I'll stick my tongue out the other one. Boo! That wasn't a very neutral thing to do. Alright, I'll continue moving forward. Is there another one like around the other side of this too?
No, it just looks like there's a ring
Gotcha.
along the forest edge.
So I've made a hole.
Made a hole. There might have been other holes if you would have walked up and down.
I wanted to see some exchange.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
Yeah.
So you're making your way through the forest now.
To grandmother's house.
It isn't too long as you're keeping your direction straight that before you do notice that there is like it's gotten darker and more thick, and you can feel the little pall of evil of the necromantic magics that have been going on in here start to cloy and everything. But as you're walking, you notice through the forest there seems to be light coming like just off to the left of your path.
Not in the direction of the house.
Not well. I mean, it is still going that way, but no, not the direct direction to it.
I'll get distracted. Let's do that. Let's go look at the light.
All right, you head over there, and as you're moving up and climbing through the trees and the underbrush, you notice that there is a hole in the canopy, just a perfect little area where the branches aren't hitting, and the last vestiges of sunlight are coming down, and they seem to be hitting a fairy ring.
Ooh.
So there's a little ring of mushrooms and actual nice green grass growing in the middle.
That's cool. You know how those actually work, right? Like those are real things.
Yep.
It's kind of cool.
And they like actually just
the
like
spore just goes.
yeah.
It's just
and it makes the ring, and then they choke everything else out, so nothing can exist in the middle of it.
Yeah, it's super cool. Let's see. I know you're giving me a spot for my bird eyes again.
No.
No. So do I know anything about fairy rings in this realm?
I'll key in something about this game, because you have followers, right? And you know followers from Talisman. They give you abilities, right?
Yeah.
There's also places. Just like the game, there are places that just do things like shrines or fairy circles or, obelisk or this or that. So this may be a place that you can do something
Yeah, let's check it out then.
Oh, I almost forgot. You only took... you only took 2 damage. You had 1 point of armor. Psychic armor.
Yeah.
So it's not your leather. You had 1 point of psychic armor from the water splashed on you.
Did it go away?
It goes away.
Okay, cool. Forgot about that water.
So, yes, this is a place that you may be able to interact with in some way. Maybe, if you get in the center of it and
yeah, let's do it.
meditate or whatever.
I'm just going to pick half the mushroom, so it's a fairy...
fairy seed. And you are a nature person, so maybe you get in and clear your mind and contemplate.
Yeah,
maybe you'll get something.
Let's try it. I'm going to commune with nature while I sit in this ring. Oh, my ribs. Oh. I'm at the 5-week mark of apparently 8.
Huh.
And then it'll be another couple of weeks after that before they're all the way not sensitive. For those of you watching at home, several weeks ago, while ice skating, I fell down and folded in half, kneed myself in the chest, and cracked some of my ribs. It's been a journey.
Okay. So, you know that there's 2 things you can do here. One is you can step into the fairy ring and meditate.
Okay.
And hope that something rewards you and doesn't play a trick on you.
Yeah.
Or you can put an offering into the fairy ring and see if it is accepted. For offerings, usually it doesn't have to be something valuable, but it should be something personal to you. Like you could make a wreath of flowers, or carve something and put it in there. You could do either one, and they may have the same result.
Let's do
meditation.
Yeah, let's meditate. Actually,
Okay.
can I? Oh, I can't have to catch an animal first before I can do anything with it.
Yes.
That's right. So I'll just call some animals to the circle. Yeah, I'll meditate in the circle. Then.
All right. Choose strength or craft.
Craft.
Roll 2d6.
And lose that much craft. Doubles 4.
Okay. You're not sure how long you've been there, but time has just kind of slipped away from you. The fairy circle is no longer lit up. You're looking up into the nightless sky through that little hole in the top.
Mm-hmm.
And there's some twigs snapping around you.
That wasn't very smart. Alright, I guess I'll stand up and... Which direction are the snapping coming from?
When you look over the direction the snapping is coming from, you see 2 big yellow eyes looking back at you as a wolf is prowling around, thinking to make you its dinner.
Alright. So if I catch this thing, do I just catch it and I'm like, hey, you're good, buddy?
You spend some time trying to...
Alright.
You could try to use animal handling against it right off the bat and just command it and cow it and get it just over time to come up to you, put down rations, or you could throw the net on it and do it the other way.
Let's try the nice way first.
Okay, animal handling. This is a wild animal in a dark forest, so the difficulty is higher than Blitz has been.
And then animal handling is resolve, insight, wits.
Good question. Animal handling is insight, intuition, and
put less than resolve. Alright, 5, 2, come on, be a 2. Damn it. 8, 11.
Okay.
That's not successful.
That is not successful. As you're trying to coax it out and doing all that, it comes up and strikes you for its full amount of damage.
I'm like, hey, little girl. Ah! You've been so naughty.
That is 7 damage.
That's not good.
And it is now just trying to tear into you. Your dinner now.
Now I'm throwing a net at it. It's a missile weapon.
Yes.
Is that agility?
That is agility.
Come on. 12?
Yes.
Alright. It's grappled.
What'd you get on the...
3.
Okay. That's weird. Only on a 6 is the enemy grappled. 6 of the Kismet die.
Oh, so that didn't work.
No. So
successfully...
you've tossed it, you didn't get a greater, right?
No.
So, let me consult the little chart. Attack ranged. Standard success. You strike your target for full damage, which it doesn't have any damage, but the Game Master can choose one of the following. An opponent with a ranged attack strikes you for half damage. An opponent with a ranged attack fires at one of your allies. An opponent with melee range strikes you for full damage, or you lose 1 additional ammo. So, yeah, that's the wolf attacking you for full damage.
Oh, no.
3.
I don't know if I can net this thing again.
Do you want to try? It's like a 1 in 6 chance. That's a terrible, terrible ability.
Alright, better just attack it then, since I've done my best.
Pulling out your scythe.
Okay.
Oh, you need to... So, without the net, you can pull out your scythe and shield and strike. So now you are defensed by your shield. Also, you can take 1 wound back, because we keep forgetting this. Your armor has 1.
Oh, yeah.
So
Okay.
give yourself 1 wound back and put a tick next to your armor. Your armor is now 0. It is ablative. It takes damage for you.
Oh, gotcha.
So you have to fix it afterwards.
Gotcha. That makes sense. That's cool. I like that.
Okay.
So this time I got a 15 plus. Is it metal? Is that what attacking with a melee weapon is? Or brawn?
It's...
Oh, physical damage plus 2. So...
Well, but you're not doing damage yet. Yeah. So it is, melee weapons is brawn or agility.
Agility.
Yeah, because it's a quick little fast weapon.
So then that's 17.
17 will hit. You didn't get a double.
Yeah.
So you are going to get hit for half damage.
That's fine. If I die, I die.
That's what this is all about.
Hell yeah.
Do your damage.
Oh. My damage. 1d6, right?
1d6 plus 2.
Yeah, 6. It has 5 hit points.
Okay. You did 6?
6.
Okay. You can use your shield to negate a hit, but there's a chance that it'll break.
Okay.
So, just let you know.
Yeah, so
that's that. 8 halved is 4. So
if I use my shield,
you're going to take 4. No, that's without using your shield. You're going to take 4.
Can I use my shield?
You can use your shield.
It's not my turn.
Even though it's not your turn, that's a defense.
How do I do that?
So
I roll 3 dice.
You can. Nope. You use your shield. Shield can be used to completely negate damage from a single physical attack, but the shield may be destroyed in the process. If a shield is used in this manner, roll a d6.
4.
Okay. On a 5-6, the shield is still intact. So your shield is gone now, but you took no damage from that attack.
All right, now it's my turn again. I'm gonna side this thing. It's going down. No gust of wind.
Okay.
That's wits. Or insight.
Spellcasting is wits.
I have to roll for success, right?
Yep. Difficulty is 11.
Oh, yeah, kill it. Alright, I didn't kill it, but 9, 10, 11, 15.
Remember, getting over the thing doesn't help you. What you want is doubles.
I just want to make sure that I get over 11, though I still got to get over it. So 15 to strike.
Okay. On a success, intense wind sweep up the target. An enemy caught in a gust of wind is knocked to the ground and takes damage equal to your craft.
Takes 5 damage.
So it takes 5 damage and is knocked on the ground.
That was a free one. And it doesn't get to attack back or anything.
Nope.
Yes. Alright, now I'm going to attack it.
Okay.
That was good. Good thinking, Goo. Benjamin, you're so smart. God damn it. 13 plus 2, so...
That's a hit.
15, yeah.
Standard success. It's on the ground, though, so instead of attacking you back for damage, it's standing up.
Okay. 5.
Okay. It yelps as it's getting up, and you slice into it, and it falls to the ground.
Alright. Can I send its spirit off?
Yes.
Animal spirits don't do that? Or?
Sure,
Yeah.
you can. But with you being a druid and this ghoul, I'll also let you use Rise on it if you want.
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay. So you have risen a shambling wolf. Which I might give it a cool additional trait.
Alright, now that I'm here, I want to... I have healing as a skill. Can I roll that?
Absolutely.
How do I do that? Just
Okay.
roll it? Oh, sorry.
So you have first aid. Actually, if you take a short rest, which is 15 minutes, you'll automatically restore some life.
Alright, let's do that first.
So it's called the recover action. Character can take 1 recover action during a short rest. The result is then a great success, restoring 2d6 life.
Oh, wow. Should I roll the kismet? 6.
So you get 6 health back.
That's so much better.
You can't first aid yourself.
Perfect, then that's okay.
But the recovery is...
Yeah, 6 hit points is fucking amazing. So.
During a short rest, you can also attempt to recover spell points.
Ooh, let's do that.
Spellcasting...
Oh, was it both? Can I...
Yes.
Yeah.
You need to do spellcasting with the craft attribute. So it's just a base. So it's spellcasting, and you're adding your craft into it, not wits or anything else.
2d6.
Nope. It's a real test.
Oh,
Yeah.
I see. Sorry.
Spellcasting with craft.
Gotcha.
So plus 5 to that.
Yeah. So 16.
16. Any doubles?
No.
No. Okay. Nothing. You need to get
Okay. Yeah, I figured. Great.
Actually, no. You have it. You do get something back. Okay. So you succeeded. You needed a difficulty of 14. You got 10, 11, 16. So you recover 1d6 spell points.
Oh. That's all.
Okay. Get all your spell points back.
All right. That was a good rest.
You have an undead wolf and a spirit.
And did you say you were going to give the undead wolf some sort of...
Yeah, because the Shambler has... It can guard you. I'm going to leave it as it is because it makes sense. It can claw, it can guard you, and it cannot be healed. So.
I can control it too? I can command it?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Can I see through its eyes? Not on the dead thing. It wouldn't work that way.
No, you can't. Cannot do that. But it can assist you in combat, inflicting 1d6 damage in addition to what you do. Like, if you get a standard success or better, you can also make it attack as well, basically.
Gotcha.
And it'll do an extra d6.
Sweet.
It can take damage for you.
Mm-hmm.
It has 5 loyalty to start with.
Oh, that's right.
And it's really hard to gain loyalty back for him. You have to put more parts back into it. So you'd have to kill other wolves and put things into it.
Neutral either.
No,
yeah.
you're just gonna let that thing go until it falls down.
Dead.
All right. So
could I have risen that spirit?
No.
Didn't have a body.
Didn't have a body.
Right.
Yep.
Right. Okay.
So you're still there with the fairy circle. You want to try again? No, you don't know how long you've been asleep.
I don't know. You want to give it one more try? No,
There is no sunlight coming down on it, so you may have to wait till morning.
Let's get out of here.
All right, so
Let's head back towards the...
head back towards the thing.
If it's nighttime, it'll be even better.
Yep. It's not too long before you come upon the goal of your journey. There is this kind of ramshackle tower that's been built in the middle of this forest.
Is it like one of those Swedish things, or not? This the German towers. It's like that. They have the angled roofs on them.
No, it's pretty much just a tottering thing with a cone shingle roof on the top. One little window. It's kind of like the Rapunzel type tower.
Gotcha. Okay.
It's got a little kind of block base.
Like a Rapunzel's tower. This isn't the church I was looking for. There's a really great old dark church, but that's alright.
There's a light on all the way at the top of the tower.
How far up is it?
It's all the way to the top of the canopy, so like 15, 16 feet, maybe more.
I'll send my vision into that window.
So you are looking into the... Well, actually, I have to make a roll. Spellcasting...
Oh, that's right, spellcasting.
Spellcasting, which is wits, I believe, at 11.
Well, spellcasting we thought was insight, isn't that what we called it?
Wits.
Wits, okay. Combat was insight. Alright.
Defense was insight.
That's right. So 12 with doubles.
Okay. So you can...
Plus 3, so it's 15 plus doubles.
You see into, like, through
16,
that window.
Sorry, 16 plus doubles. Excuse me.
Is it better than 11?
It is.
That's all that
There's
matters.
doubles, yeah. Doubles in there, okay, cool.
Better than 11 in doubles is what this game matters. So you're looking up through the window from up there. Your angle, because this thing does want to look down, your spell, isn't the greatest, but you put it at the top, highest kind of angle of the window you can see in. So in there you see that there's tables and basically it's a laboratory. You see weird glass containers with bubbling liquids and tubes and all that stuff. There seems to be a shadow of a person shuffling back and forth between these.
Does the shadow look like it's walking normally, or does it look like
Yes, it does look like it's walking.
Alright, cool. Alright, so that seems like there's some sort of wizard in here. I guess I'll look around the base, see if there's any creepy crawlies or spirits or entrances at all.
No spirits that you're detecting, and nothing on the outside.
There's a door, though.
There is a door.
Is there another door?
No.
Can I listen at the door?
Yes. Notice.
That is better than 11 no doubles.
Better than 11, no doubles. 6, 10. You don't know what the difficulty was. So.
Yeah, so it was 11 plus 3 insight,
Plus
right?
insight. Yep.
So
So
it was
14. You don't hear him.
Okay.
Just the kind of like creak and normal sway of this tower in the wind.
I can send the spirit through the door and give me some rough estimate of what's going on in
So
there.
he goes in, comes back out, and he goes...
Excellent spirit. Then, shit, I'm gonna take these on. I will throw the door open in a loud manner and kind of hide off to the side.
Okay. Make me a...
Agility.
I might make you make a test that you don't have.
Uh-oh.
Stealth.
Yeah.
So it's based off agility, but since you don't have it, it's going to be -2. So
-2 on my agility.
So it's pretty much
0.
3d6.
That's it.
That's it.
I almost picked it too. When I got Cloak of Shadows, I was like, nah, I don't need it then. 14.
Doubles?
Oh.
Okay. So you throw open the door and you hear, like you sit there and wait, and then eventually you hear and you kind of like peek around the door and you just see 2 zombies just kind of walking off into the woods.
Alright, now I'll go in and engage the single.
So you go in, shut the door. The other zombie looks up.
Does the door have some sort of latch that can keep the other zombies from getting into?
Yes, it does.
Let's do that. You're locked in here with me.
All right.
Where's that from? Oh, the Watchman. Yeah. Ugh. 10, 12. Standard.
12 standard success, which means it's going to hit you. You're going to hit it. So do your damage.
Damage is 1.
1d6 plus your strength bonus.
10 damage.
Okay. 10 damage, huh?
10. Not too bad, actually, for
Yep.
not having any skill in
It does...
Oh, wait. I'm sorry. It's physical damage. Sorry. It's, it was 7.
7.
Excuse me. Yes.
Okay. 2, 3, 2. It does 2 damage to you. And you do... How much?
7 was the actual.
Okay.
Alright. Let's do it again. Trade blows.
What did you get on the Kismet? I didn't even see.
It was a 3, I think.
Okay.
I don't... Yeah, I'll tell you. Don't worry. Part of me wants to do gust of wind in here because it'll just knock everything asunder and make a mess.
But then it might also alert.
Yeah. I mean, if he's not alerted to what's happening right here, then...
Yeah, it's not making too much noise. You're just thunking into dead carcass. It's not screaming.
10 plus... What did we decide? The attacking was metal, right?
Attacking is agility.
Agility, so 12 again.
Okay, that hits. Standard success, right? Mm-hmm. So do your damage.
Big number is 4.
Okay. 3, 4, 2. You take 2.
Oh.
Sorry, by the way, you can have your wolf take damage for you.
Let's make it take that damage then. Okay. What is its life? You didn't tell me that earlier.
Its life is 10.
No, that's 8.
And this thing drops to the ground.
Good job, Wolf. Good job, Wolf. All right. Look around. Is there anything useful in here?
There's a bed, kitchen, just
All right.
normal living space.
Well, I'll slowly climb the stairs.
Okay. The stairs are wooden stairs that go around. There's no other floors to this except for the
It's
top.
like a lighthouse, basically.
Yeah, so
top,
you can see all the way up, but you're just looking at wooden floor from that. So you just stairway up, up, up. Stealth if you're going to try to do quietly.
And that's just nothing, right?
Just nothing. Yeah.
Doubles on a 14.
Wow. Damn. All right. So you sneak your way up there really well.
It's wood. You know, I'm like, I know how to walk on wood.
And you see that laboratory. There's a couple things going on. A big cauldron in the middle, piping out some fog. And there's this dark-robed man going back and forth from all this, pouring out stuff and dipping into the cauldron and souping stuff out. And
would it be safe to say that this appears evil?
yeah, I mean, he's raising dead bodies and bringing them to them.
Yeah, that's a good point. So since there were enemies in there, I'll go ahead and attack him then.
But also as the druid, maybe there's something else to this guy if you want to try to engage him in conversation, but there's everything around here attacked you already.
That's true.
Like, everything was set to attack you.
I agree. So let's gust of wind this room.
Okay. Roll it.
I don't have any fate. We can do this. Woo! 6 on the Kismet doubles, and the total is 12, 16, 20.
Okay.
With a
20
double.
with the double, so great success. So you gust of wind through here. It starts shattering vials, breaking open stuff, sending just shelves of components and things. It doesn't knock the, like, it's a little bit too heavy, but it's these other things that are breaking open probably shouldn't be mixing together. So all of a sudden there's explosions and other such nonsense. So it's going to take, actually, you're going to roll it. It's going to do D6 plus your craft damage to the necromancer.
Oh, come on. Plus my what?
Craft, yeah.
Craft. Oh, 6 then.
You rolled a 1.
Yeah. I'll spend my fate.
Okay.
Can I re-roll that?
Yeah.
I mean, no, I only get 5 more. It's not
Yeah.
a big deal. Yeah, it's
So,
save my fate.
besides that, like, there's things that are burning white hot. There's fogs of different colors and smells all in this room. This room is an absolute mess. He is running right for the stairs to try to get the hell out of here. He really doesn't even realize you're here yet. He just thinks something went wrong. But he's about to run right into you.
Yeah.
So he comes running up. You have surprise. So go for it. Nothing that happens can hurt you on this. He doesn't get any attack backs.
Alright, I'll hit him. Oh, goodness. That's more like it.
I'd be surprised.
10, but I got a 1 on the Kismet.
1 on the Kismet. You get +2 because you've surprised him. So 12.
So it would have been 2, 5, 9, 10, 11, 12. So it's 7 and 8, plus 2 is 12, and he said plus what? Plus 2?
Yes.
So, sorry, it would be 10, so it would be 12 altogether.
Yeah.
But I got a 1 on the Kismet dice.
Alright, so that gives me this.
Oh, that gives you the fate.
Actually, I'm going to just use it. Actually, I can't. He's surprised. He can't do anything, so I'm just taking the... Okay. Now I have to look up real quick.
Yeah, it's like stuff for surprise.
No, it's you're going to do damage to it. So you roll your damage.
Sorry.
I just need to look up what I can do with fate.
3!
3.
Brother says it's like the hateful 8 over there.
Huh.
I told him to send me pictures, but... Oh, it's just 3 different weirdos. Oh yeah, this dude in particular. Then this guy over here. The last one.
AJ.
That's funny.
Okay. So the start of your next turn, I'm going to spend Dark Fate to activate a special ability in the area, which thanks to you is now just a big roiling poison disgusting cloud. So you're at -2 to any action you take this turn. As this is all coming down. So yeah, he's run right into you and is like, ah!
So you're just doing a
I'm just doing that as a
benign area effect.
just to spin my thing, but it's still your action, your action to see what happens.
I'm gonna gust of wind him.
Throw him back into the mess.
Get over there. 2, 3
plus your wits.
So that's 4, 5, 9. I'm gonna go ahead and
Spin a fate and reroll one of those dice.
okay. I'll keep my doubles, unfortunately. 5. Oh, that's much better. So 9 plus
10,
wits
13. That gets
Perfect. And it's a greater success because it's got doubles.
Yep. So you do your craft and damage to him. Nope.
What?
Just craft.
Oh, sorry.
Yep,
5.
5. No extra die. So, and he goes flying back into the mess that you've made up there. Okay. His action is going to be getting up and trying to get out of here. Like, this is weird because, like, I can't roll dice for him, even though he's not doing anything to you. But the environment could...
You could just say successful. Well, can I roll to see if my gust of wind has aggravated this stuff for me?
So, like, for this, it's like... It's not a defense check for you. Like, I don't know what I can make you
Well, then
roll.
I don't get any other bonuses. I've just thrown them back.
Yeah, but now, well, he doesn't get an action because his action was getting knocked to the ground. So now it's you again. He is now back up into the thing. He's up in the room amongst all this fog, smoke, poison cloud, explosions, fire.
I'll throw the net at him and see if I can't just keep him in there. Yeah.
Okay.
This is gonna be tough, though. I don't have very good skill with this, but I'm trying. This will be my best roll so far. Oh, so low. 3, 4,
It's agility.
6.
7. 3, 6, 7, 8, 9.
9. Sorry.
So
That's it.
9.
Yeah.
9 without a 6 there. So you toss the net up there. It's not a success. It's a failure. So
The net's gone.
the net's gone. But he gets to do a thing now.
Gotcha.
So I'm going to spend another Dark Fate. And he is going to try to drain the life from you.
Oh. Can I make my wolf take it?
Yeah.
You can't dodge spells, can you?
No, like, you can't let your wolf take it, you can let your spirit take it. He can defend you against craft attacks.
Alright. Let's see what we got. His name's Umberto.
2. You want to take it or you want him to take it?
He'll take it.
Alright.
I'm
And
still
the
rolling.
necromancer heals.
Is that considered a command?
Yes. You commanded him to take the damage for you, so that uses one of his loyalty.
Sorry, Umberto.
Humberto. Okay, back to you. That was his action.
Is commanding the wolf an action?
No, it just happens when you do something and you spend loyalty to have that effect happen.
Well, he's still in there. I don't want to go back in. So, I mean, I'm at a good position, so I think I'll stay here, actually. See what he does.
Okay. He is going to rush forward and he's going to cast a spell at you.
I didn't realize these had, like, faceted sparkles in them. It's really nice. Dayton showed up.
Yeah, showed up and I'm out.
Hey, unique comments.
Yeah, alright. So you're going to need to make a defense test with your resolve.
Uh, 15 doubles, but I got a 1 on the Kismet dice.
Okay, 15 doubles, so greater success. So he fails to get, like, he shoots this black bolt and you dodge it. You basically, or actually you resist it. So, like, shoots this black bolt, it hits you and you just, like, shrug it off. But I'm going to activate his life drain ability again with that one. So, because he's hit you with the attack, or hit you, he's going to try to drain more life from you, which you can, again, if you want, let your spirit take it. 6.
No, I'll take it. Let's get this down to the edge.
Okay, well. Okay.
Okay, so it was...
You see his wounds close.
Great. I'll take a 15-minute break.
Okay.
I'm just kidding.
Go.
No. Oh, shit.
Gust of wind him again?
Yeah, got it. And that's pretty much all I got going for me at the moment, so... Oh, damn it. 3, 4, 8. 8 with doubles.
3, 6, 7. You keep counting the doubles as one.
Oh, sorry. So 7, 11.
So that is a success. With a greater success, so he doesn't get an attack back on you. He is knocked prone and he takes your craft in damage. what's crazy about the spells is that even though you're attacking an enemy, you're not. So enemies have a threat. They have just a score that is everything for them. It's what you need to beat. If you're defending against them, it's what you need to beat. If you're attacking them, it's just their overall threat. But with spells, it's a difficulty on your end. Like, it's just 11. So, like, his threat is a 14, but all you have to do for your spells is get an 11.
It makes sense. Like, what you're supposed to do against psychic combat, you have to be, a certain...
So, yeah, you knock him back down again, and he takes his damage. So, yeah, he can't do anything at the moment.
He doesn't take any damage from the room.
He gets up.
All of my shit was supposed to be -2 that whole time. All my actions were supposed to be negative. It's too late now. We'll go from now on.
Yeah. That was for that one turn, though. Because it was the turn I activated, so that was a while ago.
And I think I failed the next action anyway, so it didn't matter if there was a -2 to it.
So.
All right. Now I'll approach and attack. Ooh. At least it wasn't there. 8, 9, 11. Or 10.
10, 11.
It is agility still for attack?
Yes.
Okay. So
with your scythe. Yeah. It's either brawn or agility, and we figured the scythe is...
So 11 then.
11 fails. Right. So...
Even though he's prone?
No, he stood up for his action at the end of the turn.
Gotcha.
So he gets his full damage on you.
Dope.
Which immediately is not much. You take 3.
And I'm dead.
Do you want your wolf to take it?
Yeah, give it to the wolf. I'm cutting it close here. Alright, wolf.
Ooh. What's his loyalty at? 2 or 1? He only has 1 left, right?
Who?
The wolf.
No, that's the spirit. The wolf has 5.
Loyalty. It only had 3 to begin with, didn't it?
The spirit did. The wolf, he said, had 5.
Okay, 5. So what is it down to?
4. That's the first time I've had to do anything.
You had to take damage from me before?
No, I had the spirit do it because it was psychic damage.
No, you had this wolf take damage from the
it did. That's
zombie
right.
downstairs.
It did count, so that's 3 then. Cool.
Okay.
I forgot about that. Sorry.
No problem. So, yeah, that was his attack back on you. So you're now up in this mist and all this stuff. So I am going to activate it again. Just because I have all these points that I get. For this time, it is going to damage everyone in the room.
What does Cloak of Shadows do? Anyway.
Oh, it's protects you. It takes damage for you. But activating this, so everybody is going to take D3 damage. Well, you and him. So he takes 2 and you take 2.
I think it said D3 damage.
D3.
Can I give it to the wolf?
Yes, you can.
Okay.
So D3 damage, yes. D6 and a half.
Gotcha. Okay. I was like, wait a minute.
1, 2 is 1. 3, 4 is 2.
Yeah.
5, 6. All right, now it's your go because that was my.
Attaching.
Do you want to cast Cloak of Shadows?
No, I'm gonna go for it.
Okay.
So give me my fate. I got a 6 doubles. 14.
That's a hit. Yeah.
16. Yeah. I got my fate for my 6 kismet.
So roll your damage for your scythe, and he doesn't get an attack back.
8.
Ow!
Yes, right at the last second.
Sure
my resolve is high.
Pretty sure that's it for him. Let me check.
You're pretty sure that's a what?
I said I'm pretty sure that's it for him.
This could be a Wiley versus Mitch that I win?
This is the second one if it happens. Yep, it is dead.
Oh.
You also won an Earth Dawn. You beat
that's right, I did. Yeah. I forgot about that. That's weird.
So yeah, you take out the Necromancer and can get out of there and stop this guy
Once
from
the Necromancer
summoning.
dies, does its finelings does its shamblers die as well? It's raised. Who knows? Yeah, it's alright.
Yeah. But this tower is going to burn down here pretty soon, so you rush out of there. You just hope it doesn't catch the entire forest on fire, because that would be bad for a druid.
Should have taken extinguish.
But yeah, this is that's Talisman 3d6. I mean, the system is pretty quick to pick up. From a GM standpoint, it is clunky. Like,
yeah, I was gonna say
it's really hard because pretty much the only things monsters do in this is attack the players. Like, you can't have them do, like, I want to run away or I want to do this. Like, you can have them move, but it's only in response to something you do, really.
I feel like they tried really hard to streamline it so it played like the board game, which I think is really neat. Like, they've done a really good job here of, like, roll this, get this, minus that, plus this, plus that, plus that, which is very much like the card was. It almost feels like you're the board. So this might be the best kind of game for you to have your own NPC so that you can play with or play against, that sort of thing.
Right. Like, and the whole thing, though, with that is they have this entire system called followers that if a person, like, you shore up your problems and your shortcomings with hiring followers or going out and gathering them. So, like, I feel like if I put an NPC in, couldn't that have just been a follower?
It's true.
Like,
it's very true. And I like that your armor breaks down, degrades.
Yep. And you can
spend. You can do that in D&D or whatever, but this is neat. Like, it's just right away. Bam, bam.
If you spend a long rest, you'll fix your full repair your armor. But if you're not engaged in combat, you can try to quick fix your armor as well and give it some things back.
That's a roll, of course.
That's a roll. I do like that. I like some of this, like the shrine. What you were doing is you picked strength or craft, and you had to roll 2d6 and get under your strength or craft. So you picked craft, which gave you a pretty decent shot at it, but you rolled an 8. So if you succeeded, you would then roll on this table and get something out of it. Like, the character gains a scroll with a random common spell. The scroll is consumed on use, but it can be used at any time by a character with craft of 3 or higher. So, like, you go into meditation, and then you wake up, and there's a scroll at your feet. Maybe, like, in that kind of place, it would have been a rune stone. And you could have used it as a one-shot, or, after a long rest, committed that spell to memory. So you can
just write whatever shrine you want.
Yeah, whatever I want. Their armor of choice becomes mystical, increasing its physical armor rating by 1 for 1 month. Gain 1 fate. Gain a crow follower. A fairy appears and gives the character a gem worth 3 gold.
That would have been crazy to have a spirit, a wolf, a crow. I'd be like, yeah, I'm a druid for sure. The character gains a blessing when it's used. They regain 1d6 life. So just like the board game, like pray at the shrine thing. I really have to they don't have a lot of explanation in here of how you run monsters and how things work in that sense. I would love to see more of that. There's a playtest out there somewhere online that they did on Twitch, I think, that I need to watch. But I really felt I was hamstrung trying to describe what these monsters and creatures are doing. But I don't know if that's intrinsic because of the system or because it's such a new mechanic that I'm just not used to it. Well, definitely with the communication in the town, like the normal carousing, whatever you want to call it, where I walk around and look for information and stuff like that, that's pretty straightforward. It's normal.
Yeah.
But you're right, like when I fight zombies and stuff, that makes sense. I just fight them, to come at you, that sort of stuff. But yeah, with the alchemist, it's like, what does he do now?
I want to get out of this room and.
Well, can you cast? But it has to be like your turn. Like, how does it work?
I'm like, I can give him spells, but I can't.
It was me seeing if I could or couldn't dodge it.
So the way this works is supposed to be like they have special abilities. They can only use those special abilities when you fail a roll, or you roll a 6, or roll a 1 on the Kismet die, or when I spend a Dark Fate. Like, for example, this Wraith here, when you...
Dang, I got some good rolls on that.
Well, I didn't use this.
Oh, okay.
I used a toned down version of this for the Spectre.
Gotcha.
But drain life. So I can, like, when you attack it, after you're finished, if you get a standard success or a failure, I can spend a Dark Fate and kick that ability off.
So what does happen? So there was that block was there. It was shackled. If I just walked through that and didn't do anything to it, what would happen?
It would have attacked you.
Okay, yeah. So it still gets to attack, though. So do you
the Spectre, yes. No, I make you roll defense. Like I made you
that's
roll.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, that's
so
right.
If you walked into it, if you get surprised or if you're doing something else, if you don't do something that triggers the action of a monster. Once all the players have gone, then any monster that didn't get to act, I get to use. But it's still, I look at this, I make you roll a defense, and then I compare the result.
Gotcha.
So at that point, I'm like, okay, now it's going to try to, actually for this, it's just regular attack is 1d6 plus 5 psychic damage. So I would just say, try to defend with your resolve on a standard success. It does its full damage to you. On its greater success, it does, no, standard success it does half. Failure does full, standard does half, greater or extraordinary does nothing. So
I can also see how this would be more fun with multiple players, just like the real Talisman, because I only had 4 things I could do.
Yeah.
And 2 of them didn't make any sense to do right now. Like Eyes of a Hawk didn't make any sense. And I threw my 1 missile weapon because I'm like, I have it, let's throw it, boom, it's gone.
And also, when there's more players, I can put more monsters on the field, and that can create better dynamics. Because, like, you have a person that goes up in melee, and you have a person that's staying range, and you have a caster. Well, when that caster casts a spell at something, that thing doesn't just have to attack the caster. It could attack someone else. So, by that person provoking that target, it could actually hurt the group because it gets an attack on someone else. They only do get 1 attack, so even if you attack the same thing 3 times, it doesn't get 3 attacks. But every time you attack it from range, and I have the option of activating a different creature instead and making them do their damage. So it's kind of weird. I do enjoy it. I definitely want to. I do want to play it again. I like the world. I like the character classes. I like the fact that there's dozens of character classes.
And this book is fairly new, right? So
yeah,
they might still be receiving feedback.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like it is. If you go to their website, the Talisman Adventure RPG is still pre-order for sometime mid 2020. Like it's not out yet. So it'll be interesting to see. They did put out a free adventure for it, which has a couple more rules, mainly their advanced rules for traps and lighting, like darkness and things like that. So
basically it's like a module that they've released
yeah.
You can run through right away.
It's a module because they have an adventure in the back here. So the last half of this is that. Then they put out another one, and it's 20 pages long, and the first 10 pages of the adventure, and the next 10 pages, actually it's more than that, it's like 14 pages of the adventure, and then there's 4 pages of here's how darkness affects rolls, and here's how you work traps in a game, type of things. Here's how they spot them, here's how they disarm them, here's how they avoid them. And it's just 2 pages of advanced rules for traps and darkness.
Interesting. Huh.
But I want to get the bigger rulebook. I want to know, they're very vague about craft combat, about psychic combat, what it entails, what you can use. Like, even when they're talking about the attack, they say determining the outcome. So, attack psychic. Certain enemies are only affected by psychic attacks. This includes many types of spirits and elementals, all of which have the incorporeal trait, which I don't know what the incorporeal trait is, because I don't think they explain it even in the monsters in the back here. So there's a wraith. There's nothing on here that says incorporeal or tells me what that means.
You assume they're incorporeal.
Right. So attacks against an enemy with the incorporeal trait are made with a weapon skill or the psychic skill.
So that there's no point for them being incorporeal.
Right, like, how can are only affected by psychic attacks, so why would I roll a weapon skill? And I'm guessing this is because you would, as a person, you would still defend yourself with a weapon, but you couldn't do damage to the thing. All you're testing is if you can thwart its blows when it's trying to attack you.
Good point.
So
I might have also added that because you can't, like, if no one had any psychic ability, you just run into a ghost and it just slowly kills you.
Right. Like, so what would you do against? Mm-hmm. Like, there isn't that explanation in here of that.
Because you can't just, as a GM, just not write any psychic enemies in because the characters didn't pick anything psychic.
Right.
You would still run into these enemies. You'd still run into the necromancer, or you'd still run into a spirit. especially since they put a whole bunch of stuff in there that's psychic.
Yeah, it's weird. And you never rolled an extraordinary success, not once. You didn't get triples once.
I'll do it right now. It's close.
116. But yeah, just because I have such nostalgia for the game, and I've been playing through. And if you haven't, you should give it a shot. You could run it on your laptop, or you could get it on your phone or tablet.
I've been meaning to. Anyway.
There's I can't remember. There's 2 different types, but there's one that is really here is the Great Wizard. You are going to play the Great Wizard and see what his story is and what his life was and what he did. And then it's okay, now you're going to play an assassin, and this assassin does something dumb, and it really affects the realms, and you play it's you on the board alone. Generally, sometimes they'll have other characters that are messing with you, but then they just give you tasks. For the assassin, it is kill this monk. While this monk is just running around, there's no cards. You just try to move until you can land on the monk and assassinate him. And it's so terrible because that damn monk just hangs out at the chapel to keep healing his lives.
Yeah.
And so you're assassinate. And if he lands on you, he'll attack you, and he almost always wins that attack because he adds his strength and craft together.
Yeah.
So you keep doing that until it's you need to find something more, and you actually go and find the one card they let you have in the game, a Tome of Spells. So you get a spell, and then when you cast that spell, whatever it is, you find the Tome of Magic again. The card goes back into the shuffle, which is only one card, the Tome of Spells. So if you use
shows
it
up one place
on any place that you can draw,
gotcha.
But if you cast it wrong, if you cast it at the wrong time and the monk goes after you, he'll get it, and then he'll have a spell. And it's son of a bitch, and you have to hope that you get spells that help you in combat.
Yeah.
Like Finger of Death or something like that.
Exactly. You don't just get hits or stop movement. Right?
The whole thing with it is, you kill the monk, and the monk was the only thing negotiating peace between the dungeon lord and the civilized lands. And so you have to go down there and, I think, kill the dungeon lord. But it progresses in a line, and it actually tells stories of things that happen in the Talisman universe, which is weird because it's also used to just make a card game and draw this and just kind of normal fantasy. But there's that. There's you do a wizard campaign, you do a warrior campaign where he's he's just all about strength and being the toughest guy in the room, and he slowly over the course of time becomes an honorable knight.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah.
I remember that was kind of the case in I don't know if you ever played a Shining Force on the Sega. There was 1 and 2. And 2 is really the stronger one, but it's heavy tactics, and I was never very good at it. But Mark played quite a bit of it. I got decent far, but he blew me out of the water. But it's kind of the same way. There's a lot of times where these characters attack from a distance, but they can't move and attack. So or they'll move too far, or they can only move in a certain pattern that doesn't put them within attack distance, and then you just kind of chase them, and you end up having to back them into a corner. But it's turn-based, so it's there's not you have 6 characters and it has 1, so it's and this character can make it. These characters all go you just keep moving back and forth. It gets pretty crazy, but then it does the same thing where when you get to a certain level, it changes everybody's physical appearance, and you're not just this fighter anymore. You're a knight, and then now this guy's a ninja. That kind of stuff. It's a lot of fun. Nothing like this though. It's different.
All right. So that's Talisman Adventures on Wiley vs. Mitch.
Lord and Savior Ace, thanks as always for coming down. We appreciate you. Theracus or Theracus, I'm not sure how to say it. Thanks for coming down and checking it out. We'll see you soon, hopefully. Giant Hippo, you can burn in a dumpster fire for all I care.
Yeah, pretty much. We will be back tomorrow for
Cardinal Bond.
A very, very strange...
I'll be very quiet for the big first part, I think.
Yes, you will. It'll be the Cardinal Bond tomorrow night. We're going to see what they do with Erevar's dead body. They're going to take it all over town, put it in weird positions, have someone draw portraits of it.
There you go.
Yeah. Get some blackmail on Erevar before they raise him. Spend all his money.
I was going to say, the money is definitely gone after robbing everybody the whole time. That's not going to make him learn anything money-wise, because if they take his money, then he's just going to see it as justified for the rest of the time that he continued to swindle from the group. Otherwise,
you think Death would learn him something, but
they wouldn't have had enough money to revive me unless I had swindled that money into my own pocket.
That's not true. They have plenty of money to revive you on their own.
But would they?
I don't know. We're going to find out tomorrow. All right. Thank you for tuning in.
Appreciate it.